have clear expectations for this podcast, and I'm hope that you keep fitting the bill.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Who is she?
I don't know.
What she?
I'm not quite sure.
One of the she's that
What is she? You need clarification on like what species she is?
No, I need to know who this person, what she is. Are we talking about all she's?
It's all the she's. The she-tars.
She what?
She what? Who?
What did you just say? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the end of time. I'm Michael.
And I'm Adam.
Oh, man, turning it up a little bit right there.
Shit.
Oh, must be a fucking hot topic going on today or something. You fired up.
I am, just a little bit. I got some fucking Andromeda in.
Oh shit. Whoa, let's fucking roll right into the week, Adam. Why don't you talk for 4 fucking hours about how great Andromeda is?
Okay. Andromeda.
I'm literally not going to talk.
This is after my first, like, I don't know, I probably got like 6 hours total in on it.
Okay.
Which is sad, considering the last podcast was.
That's because of the podcast, so.
It's not even because of the podcast, it's because I had like my daughter's birthday and all this other stuff going on. So anyway, I saw what they were talking about with the animations and stuff like that, and I'm not sure if it's like a technical glitch or if they were just that fucking retarded when they made the game. I'm not sure.
I know my answer.
Well, I mean, we all know your answer because you just hate BioWare for whatever reason, but, it's not like game breaking to me, but I will tell you that the combat is fucking on point. Mm-hmm. I love the way the combat works, especially now that you got the heat sink weapons back. Oh man, and they actually balanced it out and made it make sense why they have one of one type and one of the other.
Okay.
Like the heat sink weapons, you don't get the little bar anymore. You remember the little bar that showed how like hot your stuff was?
Yeah.
Now it's a percentage. And it shows it shows these, when you fire, like the percentage goes down from like 100 to 0. And it shows, the heat capacity of the heat sink. Mm-hmm. It's really cool because you get to research the weapons, and they have little augmentation slots that you can put on them when you build the weapon, which are like kind of built-in features. So you only get to modify these once. Mm-hmm. So like if you want it to be a pulse weapon, or you want it to be you want to have the vintage heat sink, or stuff like that, innate properties of the weapon, you build those, you put those on when you build the weapon. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you have modification slots where you can put like a scope on it, doesn't matter. You can always take the scope off of it and put it on a different weapon if you want.
Right.
Cause, a scope is a scope is a scope.
Right.
So you can pop those on and off at your leisure, but when you build the weapon, if you want it to have a vintage heat sink, you have to make sure you put that on there when you build it.
Okay.
But, oh man, the combat is a lot more mobile. The world is fucking huge. And I didn't realize how much I was into this game until I actually got to where I built the first colony and saw like the work that I'd done. I will say that it is very much, you are not fucking Shepard in this game. Okay. You are, and you can tell, like, no minor spoilers, but nothing specific about Andromeda. Mm-hmm. You can tell by the way he interacts with his crew that he's not Shepard. Shepard came in and he was like, look, I don't give a fuck what your problems are. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you thought you were doing, but I'm in charge here and you motherfuckers gonna listen to me. This guy does not have a hold on his crew that way.
I want to pause you right there and ask a very serious question that I've not researched any of this, so you're my repository for information so far. But you keep saying he is not like Shepard. Mm-hmm. So all the promotion material I've ever seen for Andromeda shows a girl, and they even gave her a name as Ryder, from what I remember. So you can still pick a male or a female?
Correct.
Well, damn.
You can pick a male or a female.
What the fuck were they promoting the whole girl thing for? I thought we weren't even playing nothing.
You could do that with Mass Effect. Shepard could be female if you want.
But here's the thing.
It even asked you at the beginning of Andromeda, was Shepard male or female?
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, anytime they've ever promoted this game, any stills, magazine articles, YouTube videos, trailers, E3 shit, you always see that girl, and that girl had a specific name.
Yeah.
So now it's like, well, no, not really. You can be a...
Well, Ryder's her last name.
Just like Shepard was.
Just like Shepard was.
Okay.
And the thing is, there's the Ryder twins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And
okay.
so, one of the Ryder twins becomes the Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is like frozen in fucking
Becomes
carbonite.
a Spectre. Oh.
Becomes a Spectre. No, sir. Although they have kicked back some stuff to like the, as I said before, the game takes place in Andromeda.
Mm-hmm.
And, you find a lot of stuff that is, you can really tell that it feels very Mass Effect, but at the same time, you feel like this hole there where Shepard was.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're like, man,
they have
really wish I knew what was going on with Shepard right now, and Shepard's dead.
Yeah, they have 3
Very
games
much
worth
because
of
it's been 600 years.
It's understandable for people to be like, man, it's feel like somebody's missing because Shepard's missing.
Yeah, and I haven't even found all the kickbacks to the original game, but there are quite a few. One minor spoiler, if you care to know this or not, but Liara makes another appearance in the game. Not necessarily an appearance, but you find her apparently sometime before the initiative left to go to Andromeda, and you waking up from cryostasis and in Andromeda and etc. Mm-hmm. Your father contacted Liara and was like, okay, well, I know you're like a premier fucking scientist about, dead alien races. We could probably use your help on this mission. And she was like, nah.
Wow.
She's like, yeah, I will help you. I will give you some data to think about dead races. Mm-hmm. But, cause I've studied the Protheans my whole fucking life.
Right.
But yeah, no. And she reads it just like she read it in the first Mass Effect. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
She, how she kind of evolved emotions more over time, over the series. Mm-hmm. You can tell this was probably before she met Shepard.
Ah. Okay.
You can just tell by the way she delivers her lines, that this is pre-Shepard, Liara speaking.
Yeah.
And cause she's very reserved, she's very like, let me just say what I gotta say and get out there. She's talking about how like nobody trusted her research and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Well, everybody trusted her fucking research as soon as fucking Mass Effect, 3 fucking hit.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, well, shit.
Yep.
But as far as jury's still out on whether or not I'd recommend this game.
Oh yeah. That's a heavy statement right there.
It is, but the fact is that it's very touch and go. Mm-hmm. Like there are moments where this is like one of the best fucking games in the series.
Yeah.
And then there are moments where it's like, oh man, you could have done that a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And it kind of jars you out of the immersion.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, it's been a positive experience.
Well, that's good.
Okay, so I will say this: Shepard would shit stomp the Pathfinder. Mm-hmm. Like level 1, like Mass Effect 1, Shepard has more fucking notches on his belt than the Pathfinder does at the beginning.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were meaning
because
Shepard at the end of Mass Effect 3.
Shepard at the end of Mass Effect 3 would fucking dust him like he was some scrub that was fucking in one of the waves of enemies coming at him.
So are we saying that this guy has a lot of room to grow?
Yeah, he's got a whole lot of, like I said, I'm not super far into the game. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But yeah, as of right now, there are some really, really interesting things about the Pathfinder, makes him unique from any other character.
Why don't you tell us some of these things, Adam?
Unless
there's spoilers.
It kind of gets spoilery.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But if you play the game, you'll find out why he's unique from any other being in any universe.
Right. Okay.
But I will say this: I was extremely disappointed in one thing. Mm. I'll oh my God, what the hell is the name for it? The vehicle that you get.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of it right now.
The Plako.
The Plako. Well, for one, it doesn't even deserve that name.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. The Mako would totally shitstomp this vehicle.
See, and this is...
The Mako would be like nut drag this fucking vehicle.
This is really
This is a
funny
Mako.
to
This
hear.
is what happens when you take a Mako, you make it less able to go up hills. Okay, it's less fast and it has no gun.
Right.
Okay, so that's what you have is a Mako that has no gun and like some fucking transmission problems.
So you got that shitty...
And it doesn't even have as good of a jump jet as the Mako did.
You got that shitty Nintendo Wii, the Diet Wii, the red one that didn't have an Ethernet port and didn't.
Yeah, it's just
that bare basic bullshit.
Like, now I don't know. You might be able to upgrade this thing later on, but right now the Hammerhead would fucking smoke it.
Oh Jesus!
The You remember the Hammerhead?
Yes.
Took like, okay, it can take about 3 times as many hits as the Hammerhead.
This
I will give it that.
This is a good thing to know because if this is true and it stays this way, oh, the world's just going to have a field day with this. We had to deal with the shitty Mako. Now we got this. Meanwhile, the rest of the people like me who didn't have a fucking problem with the Mako are going to be like, no, this Andromeda vehicle sucks the most, period.
Well, I mean, the fact that it doesn't have a gun on it is it doesn't have a gun on it.
The Mako has a fucking cannon that can disintegrate
It had a machine gun and a cannon.
Yes.
Okay, the fucking Hammerhead had a machine gun and a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but this thing's got shields. It's got decent.
So what the fuck is the
thing? It might
What
actually have the best shields of all the vehicles, but it's only got shields.
So what is it? Just a transport?
It's just a transport, as far as I can.
It's an exploratory vehicle. Yeah,
it's got a jump jet. It's got the worst jump jet of any vehicle between the Hammerhead, the Mako, and God, I can't remember what the hell this thing's called. But, and I've heard it like 200 times in the last fucking 20 minutes probably.
Wow.
But, I mean, I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
Adam, you weren't playing Mass Effect Andromeda before you came to this podcast.
I totally was. I was playing it right up until it was time for the podcast. I was playing Andromeda. Because like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of time. I will tell you this, the galaxy map is the coolest fucking shit.
Really?
Yes. The way the galaxy map works now is you pick your spot and it goes to like the front view because the Pathfinder is like standing on the bridge looking out the front window.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like the foremost person. You remember where Joker was? On the Normandy,
but right up in the
imagine
nose
instead of that console being there, there's like one small console and a big ass window.
Mm.
Okay, and you walk up there, you swipe the console, you pick where you want to go on the galaxy map, and you watch the vehicle like turn towards the thing and go towards the next thing. So you no longer have like the outside like third person perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into first person perspective and fires you across the galaxy.
Nice.
It's almost Star Citizen-esque the way they leap. It's fucking really cool.
Good.
And they implemented all 3 of the different scanning types.
Mm-hmm.
You remember how you would launch probes and stuff like that to mine on Mass Effect 2?
Mm-hmm.
Now when you're driving around, your vehicle has a mining scanner on it.
Okay.
And do you remember the little lines would go up depending on what shit you were seeing?
Yeah.
You'll drive around and you'll find a spot where it's like, okay, well, I'm starting to get readings for something here. And you drive around to find the best spot and then you hit a button and a probe comes down from your ship. And like lands like right above you, and you just drive off, and it starts mining.
Cool.
And so, and you also get to scan the planets and scan for anomalies the way it used to be. Mm-hmm. It's really, really cool. I thought, like I said, some of this stuff is the best stuff in the Mass Effect series. Okay, there are enough things where it was like 10 out of 10. Wow, that's fucking totally cool. There are some rough patches.
Right.
And like I said, they do detract. They're going to keep this game from getting a 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Unless they can patch it and just completely fix it, which I don't know if they're going to be able to do.
Yeah.
They may be able to. But there is some jarring stuff and there is some totally fucking awesome stuff. Right now, I'm putting it at the immersion is by far the lowest of any Mass Effect when you are doing communications and talking and stuff with your crew.
Really?
Yeah. The
conversation points are not that good.
It's not well, I mean, here's the thing, is it's not a constant thing. Some of the conversations are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are really jarring. Okay. It's by no means consistent. Some of them are just as good as any other Mass Effect. Some of them are, it's like, wow, I can see this dude talking in the booth.
Okay.
But as far as the action sequences and people talking while stuff is going on, I just got done with the first planet. It's really the second planet that you land on, but it's the first planet you go to as your own independent thing that's not like tutorial-ish. And I was pleasantly surprised at how, I felt about the game in those seconds. As the stuff was wrapping up, I was like, you know what? I'm having fun. It clicked to me in the middle of this. I was like, at this moment, I'm playing Mass Effect and I'm having a fucking great time.
Well, there you go. There's a good ring endorsement.
So I mean,
I guess time will tell if that's a continuing
time will
thing.
tell if that's a continuing thing. I've got a lot more to do. But because I have explored maybe 2 or 3 clusters, little star clusters where you get you go and you check out each one of the planets and scan them for resources and stuff like that. Yeah. I've got 2 or 3 of those.
Out of a guesstimation of how many to go.
Oh, God. We just found a giant star cluster, or a giant star map, and I haven't even looked to see how many it added.
Jeez.
So I'm expecting this. I just got on the cusp of what is actually out there.
Testing that pop filter, huh?
Yeah. Cusp.
Hey.
Got it.
You got it again.
But, man, I am not, right now, just off the first 6 hours of gameplay, and I was kind of iffy going into it because I'd heard all these bad things about Andromeda. Yeah. I am not disappointed at all.
Okay.
I am, there are some, like I said, there's some rough spots, but overall, it feels like it's going to be good. And I feel like I'm starting to come into the Pathfinder zone. Does that make sense? Pathfinder's starting to become his own character. He's obviously not Shepard. Okay. But I don't think they were going for Shepard.
I really don't think people are going to have a big hang up over that. I mean,
I do. I think a lot of it. I heard a lot of people saying, well, Shepard was sure, and he was. Shepard's one of my favorite characters.
But you would think and hope that they would have the understanding again. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they always had her as the promotion material, because they wanted you to physically see and understand that this is not Shepard. This is not in Shepard's time, his universe. So I would hope that people would just understand that you're not going to get Metal Gear Solid 2. They're not going to play as this dude.
They're not playing the old switcheroo on you.
Yeah, they're not playing this guy for 30 missions and then for the next 400, hey, Shepard's back. This has
now, if Shepard comes back, I will be happy. But you can get a full set of N7 armor. Your dad was an N7 in this game.
Yeah, your dad was Shepard spoiled. I just spoiled it.
Yeah, your dad was Shepard. Shepard is your dad.
Yep.
Spoilers. Sorry. No. Your dad actually,
God, I'm gonna feel so bad.
Spoilers for the Mass Effect series, but not in the games, but in the comics / outside materials, like the comics and stuff like that. Your dad was part of the First Contact War.
Oh.
Okay.
You're right.
That's when
Andromeda's character's dad.
Yes.
Okay.
And his dad was part of the First Contact War, which may or may not be, you remember who else was part of the First Contact War?
It's been a while.
Hey, he developed a strong hatred for aliens. Let me throw that out there.
For who? Oh, for aliens?
He was pro-human as fuck. He was the most pro-human character
Elusive
in the Mass
Man
Effect series. Yes.
Oh.
He was in the First Contact War too. He was part of that first colony that got massacred by the Turians.
That got mass
Massacre. Massive.
I'm so good at this game.
Yeah, good job with the puns. But no, he saw that and he became that way. And your dad was kind of super pro-human too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was. Yeah, I haven't unlocked enough to know what all your dad was thinking, but I do know that, you know, he was part of the First Contact War, and he was like all in with the Alliance. He was an N7.
Okay.
You know, and if you took Shepard in the very first game before he became a Spectre, he would be on par with Shepard.
Damn. That's pretty big.
Shepard obviously went from being like a hero to a legend.
Yeah.
Over the course of his game. And your dad in this game is already a hero. Okay? And you are a rookie trying to work your way up to that level.
Apparently, as you say, level 1 Shepard could just
level 1 Shepard. No. Level 1 Shepard would spank the fucking
Ryder.
Pathfinder.
You just call him Ryder. I mean,
I'll call him Ryder. He would spank Ryder, but he wouldn't level like end of Mass Effect 3 Shepard, like that, the Shepard that's like limping down the hallway with the pistol. Okay. That motherfucker would take care of him just like he took care of that like Marauder Shields dude that was the final boss of Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would take care of him like that. He'd be like, bang, shields down, bang, dead.
Wow.
He's not fucking around with Ryder. But, yeah, no, Ryder is his own thing, and he's looking to be pretty cool. Like I said, you can tell by the way, like, he interacts with his crew that he is by no means has he proven himself. He's not the guy everybody looks to like, Shepard, what the fuck should we do? No, they go, I wonder what we should do. And Ryder goes, let's think about this.
Give me a minute.
Give me a minute. I need some help.
Mm-hmm.
let me think about this.
Let me talk to the council and see what they got to say.
There is no council.
Hey, council.
LOL.
Hey, council. Got a question.
Man. Fucking man.
Fucking inside jokes, no.
Yes.
Inside jokes, no.
Inside jokes, yes. All right. So, how was your?
That's it. That's all.
Yeah, the only gaming experience I had. The only time I had for gaming, I spent playing Andromeda, and like I said, I didn't get a whole lot of time on Andromeda.
No other life things, no other life events went on, no movies.
Not game related.
Did you go see Logan yet?
I have not gone to see any kind of movies.
Horrible person.
I've got kids, and I've got problems, and I've got fucking life to deal with.
Choo choo, all aboard the excuse train.
That's right.
Choo.
I am fucking captain of the USS Excuse Prize. Now go fuck yourself.
Excuse surprise. What the fuck? I'm not even gonna try to spell that one. I can though, because I'm fucking good at spelling.
Oh, fuck you.
That's why my wife loves me so much, because she was like, you smell.
You smell? She's like, your wife loves you because you smell.
She was like,
pheromones.
She was like, all right, first date, spell sanctify, and I was like, C-A-N.
You were like,
C-T-I-F-Y.
You were like,
she was like,
what it was is like you were just walking around in the woods pissing on random trees, and she's like,
wait, she sniffed me out? Is that what you're saying?
It's the pheromones. It was the smell.
What is this? What are we doing?
We have gone off on some weird fucking shit now.
So
pheromones.
So that's a whole week right there for Adam.
Yeah.
Mass Effect Andromeda, and it tallies up to about 6 hours of gameplay.
Unfortunately.
You are a very eventful motherfucker.
I know, it was bad.
I thought you weren't gonna shut up about your fucking week.
I know. But the terrible thing about it, is that I didn't get enough playtime on, and it was just because I had other things going on.
I know.
And,
I know that feeling.
you know, the sporadic feeling of like, okay, well, let me grab onto this and do it as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I had like 30 minutes on the computer, I wasn't going to fire up that so I could take 10 steps in the fucking Plako. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, I said Plako, but Plako may work a lot better. Sad.
I hope it gets a gun.
Sadako. I don't know. My week. Non-game related. My wife and I actually just got back from the theater. We went and saw Beauty and the Beast, the remake.
Saw Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Is it any good?
She loved it. She had a good time with it. I give or take the remakes just because even some of there are some Disney movies that I haven't seen like 8, 9, 20 times. So even the originals are kind of like, they're okay for me.
Yeah.
And in the remakes, I give or take them. I say it's worth a watch. They did a good job on the songs that were there. They brought back, the set pieces that were there. They brought back. I'm too much of a traditionalist in mind, I think, because when I hear quotes that aren't quoted the same exact way,
pisses you off.
Yeah.
Like it does me.
Like, I guess this kind of qualifies as a spoiler, but not really, because if you've seen the first Beauty and the Beast,
you should know what the fuck's
seen this remake. And I don't remember the exact scene, because I think I've only seen Beauty and the Beast like once or twice. But there's a part in the original movie where he tells Belle, he's like, hey, you need to get downstairs, eat. And he spins back around and he goes, it's not a request! He's really fucking guttural and angry when he says it. And I love that line. I love the way he says it, because I'm like, oh, that's how you're supposed to talk to women.
Yep.
Oh.
That is.
That's how you get the women.
That's how you talk to women.
It's not a request.
That, and you spray your piss on trees.
Maybe if you put more bass in it, but maybe if you lower the tone, but just put more bass, like, it's not a request.
It's not
maybe
a
that
request.
Works. But, so I watched the remake, and he goes up there and he bangs on the door and he goes, come downstairs for dinner. It's not a request. And I'm like, that didn't have, that was about a 3 out of 10 when that fucking original one was a 11
that's how a lot of the stuff in Mass Effect comes off when it comes off bad.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you just read that shit. You didn't actually think about what context you were saying this in.
You didn't put any force or feeling or emotion behind it that was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And it's sad when you have an original that's already there. I could see you doing it from comic books or books to
or
movie.
A brand new game.
You have to implement that and make that your own. But when you have an original source material,
you can just watch that shit and figure out how it's supposed to be done.
You can see the peaks and valleys of the plot line and of the voice and of the how they attenuate their voice and all this stuff. And when you have somebody that, an example would be Mass Effect 2. Imagine if they remade Mass Effect 2 in Morden's line where he was like, I was wrong! Yeah. Imagine if he was like, you know what, I was wrong. Whoa, come on. That just takes, you just limp dick. Deflated the whole scene. And I say that loosely. I'm not
lose a lot of the feeling of the character.
Yes. That happens maybe 2 or 3 times in the movie total where they just don't quote it exactly right.
Were there any times where it was better than the original?
Yeah. There was a scene. I meant to ask my wife. I completely forgot about it. But there's spoilers. I don't even know if you're going to see it or not.
Probably not. Maybe if my kids want to see it.
Spoilers for the remake Beauty and the Beast, in case somebody's listening to this podcast 20 years down the road and haven't seen it. In the original Beauty and the Beast, there is a scene with Gaston and the little fat chubby guy in the tavern, and they're having the Gaston song.
Yeah.
Well, in the remake, it's just everybody is just acting like they love Gaston, but in your head, nobody likes him. That's the point of him. He's that jackass that's like, yeah, you've done a lot of good shit, but we really don't like you. Well, in this one, a nice little touch they added was you see the little fat guy going around and he's shoving change at people. He's paying the people to cheer him on and paying people to, like, he's paying people and give them a sword. You get up on stage and, like, do a little knife fight, a little sword fight with them. He makes people think that they like him by paying him. You know what I'm saying? He's paying people for their services. That was a nice little touch that was there. All the songs, I mean, she would be a better judge than me, but pretty much all the songs were there. They had some new songs that I'd never heard before.
Let's go into super speed.
Here's the thing. You will be able to tell if you watch the original or not. you can tell the songs that were made back in the day for the old Beauty and the Beast and the ones they just wrote now, because they're different.
They don't jive.
They don't jive. They don't have that flowing, beautiful, the lyrics just work. It's just like
they're not golden era Disney shit.
Exactly. They're this new era of Disney that I don't really care for.
Well, I mean, the fact is that back then Disney was on their fucking A game.
Yeah.
And, I'm not saying that they don't, come out and swinging sometimes now, like with Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
But, back then they were like, oh yeah, here's the shit. And they were just pumping them out every couple of years.
Yeah.
You had fucking Lion King or Beauty and the Beast or fucking Pocahontas, Mulan. Something awesome was coming out.
Oh yeah.
And, it was, and they were just like, I don't know whether it was just one dedicated fucking songwriter or whether or not they had a team that was just bad the fuck ass.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you can pull up any one of those songs and immediately think or any one of those movies and immediately think of a song that went along with it.
Yep.
Whether it's, Hakuna Matata or the fucking Be a Man song from
Arabian Nights.
Yeah, shit like that. And you're just like, wow, But
now it seems more like the words are there to strictly convey a point, if that makes sense.
I mean, there was a big emotion going on with that. And
here's the thing.
They conveyed a point.
Yeah.
But they also conveyed the feeling of the moment, if that makes sense.
Well, it seems like, and a good example would be Moana, which her and I also saw in the theaters. And if you haven't seen Moana, you'll understand when you watch the movie what I'm about to tell you. The lyrics don't just convey the point. They're almost literally telling you how you should be feeling. If that makes sense. It won't make sense till you watch it, but the way the lyrics are structured, the way the verses are put together, it's less and less like this whimsical, magical, sparkly, princessy, kingdomy, Disney-ish world, and more like we're having a good time. I'd have to sit down and think about this. Maybe we'll have a Disney cast one day.
Well, here, let's go into super spoiler territory.
Okay.
Does Gaston still die at the end of this?
Yes.
Does he still get murdered by the Beast? Just fucking murdered.
No.
Just fucking murdered.
The way that he got...
Does he get disemboweled by the Beast?
No. Did he get murdered in the original Beauty and the Beast?
Well, he stabbed the Beast and he fell off fucking castle or some shit.
Okay, well, in this one, he shoots the Beast twice, and then so there was a point where Gaston was on this walkway, and then Beast jumped on the walkway after him. The castle was already crumbling because the magic was starting to wear off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when the Beast jumps away, Gaston is still on that platform, and he shoots him. And he shoots him again, and by that time, the crumbling had been too much, and he just falls to the abyss. You actually hear at the bottom. You don't see it, but you hear So.
Damn. Nobody falls to their fucking death.
I don't remember if there was a enchantress in the Beauty and the Beast in the original one, but there is one in this one.
I mean, there was like a witch or something that cast this spell, but I never saw her actually in the movie. She was in the explanation at the beginning of the movie.
You see her in this one.
Yeah.
And when they bring her back again, it is blatantly fucking obvious when she is it again. Like the first time you see her, the place you find her is she's in the woods, and Belle's dad's there. And number one, Belle's dad says a name, and you're like, well, I've never heard that name before that I can remember. But also, just the way that her makeup is, the setting that you're like, that's the fucking enchantress right there.
Yeah.
She's gonna throw, they keep going, they do with those shots where like Gaston is in the foreground, but she's clearly in the shot in the background. You're like, yeah, they're showing you her without showing her.
Yeah.
She's gonna take off the fucking robe. The dirt's gonna go away. Now they don't do that though. That's the funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
When she gets back into the picture at the end of the movie, she releases the magic spell on everything, and you start to see her face is prettier and all that. But when all the magic is back, when everything's back to normal, when it shoots and the camera goes back to where the rose was, she's gone. So you don't get to see her in all of her enchantress golden magical splendor again. She just does her thing, smiles, and leaves.
Cool. Well, at least they didn't try to make a big fucking whoop about it. But yeah, before it was like a curse that she put. That we don't even want to really get into the story of this motherfucking thing, but I mean, it's just, you know, it never made any goddamn sense that nobody knew about this giant fucking castle that apparently their ruler lived in.
Yeah.
You know, nobody ever thought to go check up on it.
Well, they do in this movie. They make it make sense, but then they completely go back on themselves. They say at the beginning of the movie that whenever the enchantress put the spell on the prince turned into the beast. The spell also took effect on everybody in the castle, guests and workers and everybody.
Why did the workers deserve to get cursed for the prince?
I don't know, because she was that vindictive.
She's a bitch.
But they also go out of their way to say, and she also went throughout the town over time and started systematically, like, basically brainwashing everybody to forget that castle existed, to forget the prince existed, to forget that all those people. So the thing is, there were guests in that castle that had, you know, they were husbands and or wives, and spouses were separated. So people back in the town just apparently forgot they had a spouse.
Oh, wait, you're telling me that, no, wait, stop. Stop. You're telling me that some kid grew up without a dad.
Yes.
Because this bullshit.
Yes.
Fuck this goddamn
But here's
lady.
another thing.
I'd kill her on the spot. Gaston did nothing wrong.
Are you a Gaston sympathizer?
That's right.
You know.
Wait, stop. I just thought of something cool.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if you ever checked it out on YouTube or anything.
Oh yeah, Gaston fan fiction. Yeah, I read it all the time.
Yeah. No.
There's one where Gaston and Beast get it on.
Yeah.
And then they both compare their
He
chest hair.
He stabbed him.
Gaston's like, my chest hair, and Beast is like, my chest hair. And they
rub each other's nipples.
They dance in the ballroom and have the sweeping cameras.
Yep. Gaston's wearing the dress.
Yeah.
The yellow dress.
I'm done. So anyway, you saw this thing.
So, at Disney World, okay, they have actors there to play fucking all the Disney characters. Well, apparently they go to the one place where, you have Gaston.
Yes.
And you can apparently walk up and just challenge Gaston to all kinds of things like push-up contests or arm wrestling. Mm-hmm. And they pay these dudes to be totally fucking badass.
Yeah.
And they're like undefeatable. And like...
Yeah, because did some muscle-bound dickwad challenge him to
a push-up
contest, and not only did he
totally smoked him.
I think it's not only he beat him, but then he
made him look stupid.
He started doing push-ups. He was like, "Oh, so there was my 75 push-ups. Here's like 20 more with one hand or some shit."
He's like, "Let's do push-up contests." And then he's like devastating the dude, like 3-1 in push-ups, and then he starts doing it one-armed, and he's still doing one-arm push-ups while this guy's like struggling on the ground trying to do them two-armed. He's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, scrub.
Gaston's so cute. That's why you're a Gaston sympathizer.
That would be the only good mark on that dude. That, other than me and him being complete kindred spirits.
What?
Yeah, I don't believe women should read books.
You don't believe that?
That's right. No, I'm just messing.
I don't. I feel like
I'm the kind of guy that comes in there with my muddy boots and I put them up on a chick's boot or her book.
You remember The Watchmen? I feel sometimes like you're the comedian and I'm who was the main guy? He turned out to be the bad guy.
Dr. Manhattan?
No.
Mr. Manhattan?
No, the guy that turned out to be the villain. God, Ozymandias.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm Ozymandias.
You're Rorschach, is it?
No, because you say jokes sometimes, and I look at you, and it makes me want to look at you and go, for somebody who calls himself a comedian, I can never tell if you're serious or not, because you say some shit sometimes, and I'm like, is he?
No, yeah.
Does he really think? Is he like trying to open up to me and be like, yeah, I'm actually a fucking hardcore sexist and fuck women there. Remember that shit when they got rights? What the fuck was up with that, bro?
I have 3 daughters.
Speaking of the Gaston part, and another issue I had.
This is the Gaston cast.
Video
games. Talk about Disney today.
One of the funniest moments, which I'm hopefully you've seen this video. Mm-hmm. One of the funniest moments in the original Beauty and the Beast Gaston song was something about it must be my chest hair, and he opens his shirt and all the chest. They did not put that in the movie. I was like, why did y'all not do that? And I think I know why. And this is about to get real heavy for some Disney shit.
Oh no.
I don't know. I have not pre-thought this, but this is something that's been on my mind for.
You've been thinking about Gaston's chest hair for
of the 10
days now.
I do not have any material in front of me, and I don't feel like looking it up. But there are exceptions to what I'm about to say. Like WALL-E was good. Frozen, I could take it or leave it. I'm not a girl. I don't know if it just caters to women, but I don't.
Well, I mean, it's a Disney film.
It's a Disney film, but I loved WALL-E.
Okay.
I loved it to death. Frozen, I didn't really care for. I could take it or leave it. It had some funny parts.
It was a little Disney princess.
But, I've seen Moana. It was good. What is the name of the fish? God, I'm fucking retarded.
Finding Nemo?
Yes. Those are Disney movies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Finding Nemo movies were pretty good. Cool. But there are movies that have been coming out from Disney that not only are, like I said, the songs, lyrics, just they seem very, I don't even know. I really wish I could have a better word to describe this. They feel,
Canned? Canned? Formulaic?
Yes. Canned, formulaic. They just don't have the fucking magic and whimsical nature they used to have, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But since we're still doing spoilers for the fucking new Beauty and the Beast, I hope, there's a scene in it. It was actually quite a funny scene where these three men are mocked up to be three musketeers, and the joke was the talking dressing robe, the dressing cabinet, whatever the fuck.
The wardrobe.
The wardrobe. Thank you. I can't word today. I can math, but I can't word. The wardrobe piece of furniture attacks the three musketeer looking guys, and the way that what she excels in is she just decorates you in clothes. She wraps you up in all this felt and material and all this shit, and when it all fades away.
Are those like pieces of her guts?
I guess. I don't know.
Like if she like did
her mouth was.
Wait a second. What if like when they got transformed back, all those people went, the clothes like turned into like intestines and shit, and she was like laying there all dead.
What a horrible.
She's
horrible scene that castle would have been.
Oh God!
Wow.
You like the kid Chip? He's like missing a piece of like his skull.
Hollow Bastion, the murder scene.
Oh wow.
God. But no. So anyway.
Oh God.
So anyway, she attacks these guys, and you start seeing the cloth and fabric and material fly all over them. Mm-hmm. And then when the fabric goes away, they're all dressed up as girls. With the old classic, with the big wig and the big wide dress and the white makeup with all the accentuating makeup. Well, two of the guys look at themselves and they're like, "Oh God!" And they run off screaming. Mm-hmm. One guy turns to the camera and is like, he's got a big cheesy grin, like, "I wanted this. I really like being dressed up as a girl." And I laughed at that. But that's going to go to what I'm about to get into. Also in this movie, they have a scene where the big fat guy, he kind of acts very, and I mean this in a respectful way, he acts very flowery when he's singing about Gaston and when he talks about Gaston. He acts a little bit too, "Hey man, I really love you, bro. Like, you're so awesome." Instead of being like, "Yeah, man, you're really cool." He's just a little bit much, you know what I mean? Uh-huh. Well, at the end of the movie, it shows that flowery guy, and that shows him dancing together. And that must be the scene that Facebook was all ablaze about. "I'm not going to take my kids to see Beauty and the Beast because they got this possible homosexual content going on."
I wonder if it's Disney, it can't be that serious.
I feel like Disney is on this track where it's trying its best to show everybody that, hey, we at Disney are very diverse. Now, they've been doing this forever.
Doing that.
They've been doing this forever, though.
I think, and this is my God's honest opinion on not just Disney, but on anybody that does this. Diversity, whether it's, adding minorities or adding not trannies, but transsexuals, etc., adding homosexuals. It's all fine until it feels shoehorned in there, forced.
Yes.
You know, when it feels like you're doing it and you're just sticking it in there.
Yeah.
You know, to do it, like Mass Effect 3 did this, where Kaiden, who had a female, presumably it was heavily hinted towards love interest.
Yeah.
Suddenly decides to become bisexual.
Yeah.
I
guess.
At that point, it's just like, yeah.
I'm on the same page with you.
I'm cool with it as long as it doesn't feel forced. And when it starts to feel forced, like, if somebody tells you in the first 30 fucking seconds what their sexuality is, or if I can instantly go ping, that's the gay dude, then it, for one, I feel like it's disrespectful to those communities, and for two, it's jarring.
Yes.
And because I can feel the motivations behind it. Yeah. And I don't want to. Now, I don't know how Disney implemented this. From the way it sounds, it doesn't sound like they shoehorned it in there.
Yeah.
But, when it is, it's one of those things that just immediately unimmerses me. Yeah. And I go, oh man, and I snap back to reality for just a second. Now, it can be done correctly, and it won't have that effect. But when it does, it doesn't matter what form of media it is, it'll immediately pull you out.
I think another way that I'm trying to describe this is that, again, Disney's been doing this for years. This is nothing new to them. Aladdin, very big. There was a large Arabic theme around it. Not canon, not actual real life, possibly. Had a lot of errors, possibly. But they try to make you feel like you were in that world.
Well, they wanted you to feel like, you were experiencing it.
The thing is, and maybe this is because of the animation. Maybe because back in the day when they did hand-drawn animation, it translated better to that more fantasy realm. Yeah. Where now, it seems like, and again, I'm bringing up movies like Moana, or hell, if we really want to shake it up and just throw my last statement out the window, a movie, what was the Princess and the Frog? It feels like they're trying less and less to have a fantasy version of these areas and more let's get as fucking authentic as we can get it. Like, if you're going to Moana, we want to embrace the Hawaiian style, areas and lifestyle and recipes and how they make clothes and all these things. I didn't need to see that stuff when I went to Agrabah.
Well, I mean,
they had a market in Agrabah. I mean, they had turbans and stuff like that. I got the idea, but they weren't so focused on these things that it was like blaring in your face.
Well, I don't think it's so much as it's in your face. It's just that, when you look at something like, Aladdin, the story wasn't about them being in the fucking Middle East. Yeah. The story takes place in the Middle East, and therefore everything is influenced by the Middle East. Right. But say something like, that one you were talking about, the Princess and the Frog or whatever, the Frog Princess, I can't remember the name of it.
The Frog Princess.
But that was that was a European medieval story, I believe. Yeah. I can't remember exactly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but, I believe that's European. The only way I've ever heard it told before the Disney version, it didn't take place in fucking New Orleans. I can tell you that. No. As soon as you put it in New Orleans, you've fucked this story. You've gone out of the realm of where you needed to be. Yeah. But to me, that's just, it is what it is. I feel like that was shoehorned a little bit. I feel like you could have gone in a completely different direction. Yeah. Because what you could have done was take, if you wanted to have because a lot of fairy tales are European in nature. Yeah, yeah. With the very notable exceptions of things like, 1001 Arabian Nights, and all the stories that came from that. It's very hard not to shoehorn diversity into European fairy tales because everybody by default is white. Yeah. Okay. They might be different variants of white. You might get Swedish and you might get Finnish and you might get fucking English, but you're gonna get a different shade of white. Yeah. You're not gonna see a black princess in any of those without having to push it in. Right. Now I'm not saying that. I'm saying that anything that you do in there, they did the only thing they could have, which is put the setting, change the setting, but at the same time that changes the story.
Yeah.
And it not only changed the time period of the story from medieval to what was it, 1900s ish, kind of. It also changed it. You know, it changed a lot of things about the story. It's not just a few things. Now all of a sudden it became a story about fucking them talking to crickets in a bayou and shit like that.
Yeah,
because now it's New Orleans and not. I'm just that kind of stuff.
That aggravates me.
It didn't aggravate me so much as it just disconnected me from the story until I got used to it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I know that a lot of movies play that out really well, and they handle it, and it could be just me being nitpicky, and if that's what it is, that's fine. Adam and I come from a particularly different skill set than probably most of our audience. We kind of have diversity training shoved down our throats.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now, 99% of the time I walk out of that shit and I go, I have accepted everybody, period. And when I see anything, video games, music, movies, media form of any type, where they're like, here's more diversity, here's more differences, or you need to be cool with this, we're gonna make this as cool and as acceptable as it can be so you could accept it, it's more like I'm being told to accept it when I already do. It's aggravating. So.
Yeah. Well, one of the things about diversity, and one is, I kind of go with I don't know if you've ever seen that not Piers Morgan, what's it? Morgan Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman interview where he said, well, what do you do to increase diversity? And he said, well, I'm gonna stop calling you a white man, and you stop calling me a black man, and let's just fucking ignore it. Yeah. Because that's how you know, when I think of my friends, I don't separate my friends into black and white.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how many black friends I have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I don't know how many black people I know.
I don't know how many gay friends I have. I don't know how many Asian
I don't have a tally
I have. I mean,
of fucking, you know, people that I give a shit about.
I know people.
I have people that I see and I go, you're cool.
Yeah.
You know? And I have people that I see and I go, fuck you. And it doesn't matter whether you're white, you're black, you're straight, you're gay, you're whatever in between. If you're a dick, fuck you.
So if
you're not a dick, cool. So let's hang out.
If a black transsexual man came up to you and said, "I love Chrono Cross,"
and then he would be a giant fucking tool that didn't deserve to live.
Not because he was a black transsexual male, because he loves a game that you can't stand.
Correct.
Okay, see, that's the difference we make in life, people. Diversity has been working for years.
There are the things that are important, like whether or not you like Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
And there are things that are not so important, such as who you bang.
Yeah. So, slightly steering back on topic of games, and what I did with my week, so we can round this end out. I know I did some. I went to a bachelor party last night. My best friend's getting married.
Oh shit!
And we went out. We did some. We originally, for anybody that listens to this and is local to New Orleans or around New Orleans, or would ever like to take a trip to New Orleans, there's a place called the NOLA Motorsports Park.
Oh man, y'all got to go back over there?
We wanted to. I'm getting to it.
Uh-oh.
This place is host to a lot of motorcycle races and car races. They do drift tournaments and little speedway tournaments and motorcycle races. They've hosted AMA, the American Motorcycle Association, for anybody that follows motorcycle races. But one of the biggest things that they have there that any big kid at heart will do is they got a fucking go-kart track. And buddy, let me tell you, this blows the fucking asshole out of any little mom and pop go-kart track
that thing is fucking cool.
For one, when you go on any given day, you're only going to get to see and ride on half of that track. That track is actually twice that size. Yeah. I don't know what you got to pay or what thing goes on for you to be involved, but you can ride it more.
You got to go back there and suck them off.
You do, okay. You do 10-minute sessions when you go ride, and these carts are sturdy, they're well built, and they can go upwards of like 40 miles an hour.
You can totally spin yourself out.
Yes.
Totally.
So It is an awesome experience. It's kind of expensive-ish, I guess. I mean, I could be talking, half of our audience could be rich for all we know. But it's usually in the neighborhood of about $20 per ride, and a ride is about 10 minutes. And it goes, for one, you as a person have to be kind of built tough, because after about your 5th or 6th ride, your body's going to be aching. Actually, if you've never ridden a go-kart at all, your 1st or 2nd ride, you're going to be like, oh man, that's kind of rough. But it's well worth the time, well worth the money, and it's a quality experience if you at all care about go-karts. So we were going to do that. I asked him, being the best man, I was trying to plan the shit for him.
Yep.
And he was like, well, I can tell you right now, we're going back to NOLA. I was like, fuck yeah. Wait, we're not doing like strip bars. And he was like, no. I want to go race go-karts. We had the whole day planned out, and I'll be damned, about 2 weeks ago, they were like, yeah, it's supposed to be raining. And then a week went out, and they were like, yeah, there's fucking horrible thunderstorms coming in New Orleans that day. So,
yeah.
So we ended up going to, we went to a laser tag place near where we live. We set up kind of Call of Duty style-ish, I guess. I've literally have never been.
One of these days, I'm going to set up a brothel / safari with laser tag.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're going to like ride by on like a go-kart, and you're going to shoot at like women. And that's how you pick which chick you want to go out with, is you have to like, it's like a safari hunt. And you hit them with the laser tag, and they fall over, and you get like a net, and you like put them on the back of your cart, and that's how you. Yep.
Okay. That sounds fun.
Now that I've given away my super secret fucking way to do it.
Now the next big thing just got taken by somebody else.
Yep. Somebody's gonna open this shit up in fucking Las Vegas, and they're gonna be like, "This is my totally unique idea."
You and I off camera, because we're on a camera. Oh. You and I off mic have that statement of save it for the podcast. We need to have a new one called "Save It for Yourself." Because if we have an audience, I would love to hear the day when we have more than 100 people. If we have an audience of like 30,000 people, one motherfucker is gonna listen to the episode and go,
I don't care as long as I get to go to it.
Oh, you don't even want the royalty. He just wants the pleasure of going.
I just want to shoot. You have like these chicks, and they're just
want to shoot chicks.
It's like a nature thing.
Is this back to your sexist thing where you just want to shoot women?
It's like back in the caveman days, except you don't use a club, you use like a laser rifle.
Right. Okay.
You set it to stun.
But anyway, we did a laser tag thing, and it was actually pretty fun. I've never been to a laser tag place in my life, and it was my first, and for what it was fun. I enjoyed it.
We were going to do that for my daughter's birthday.
We went to
we ended up not doing it.
We didn't do anything debauchery or anything like that. We didn't go to strip clubs and all that usual bull crap people hear. We didn't go to Vegas. We did end up going to a restaurant. Somebody else made this decision. It was called Twin Peaks. I know you've heard about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you know what Hooters is, you know what Twin Peaks is.
No, don't even fucking compare them.
Oh, boy.
Man, let me tell you.
Please do.
Last time I went to Hooters, okay, I went there because I was hungry.
Uh-huh.
I have never been more disappointed in a restaurant in my entire
The food at Hooters
life.
Is shit.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I've had 3 different dishes from Hooters.
I had like the most bland chicken wings you can think of.
Yes.
All right. And it was like they took some watered down Tabasco sauce and like drizzled it ever so sparingly over the top of them. And I was like, really?
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I go to Buffalo Wild Wings, the stuff is just completely coated in fucking taste.
Oh, yeah.
Nah. And these were like their signature sauce.
Yeah.
But you go to fucking Twin Peaks, you get food.
Yeah.
You get, not the greatest quality of food, but you get food.
Yeah.
You get like Chili's / Outback almost quality food.
I didn't want to get you riled up over this debate. I was just saying that if anybody wants to understand, I don't want the family of 4 young kids to go, oh, well, the fucking End of Time cast recommended Twin Peaks, and then they go and the wife's like, what are you bringing my kids to?
It's not so bad.
What I'm saying is the theme of the restaurant is there are younger girls. They have, they got shortish skirts. They have somewhat cleavage revealing shirts on. They do typical things. They holler and hoot and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I was like, whatever. I'm going to go there because y'all want to go there. And I've actually heard some decent things about the food.
If you tip well enough, you can get full service.
I had the food. The food was okay. It was not great. It was not bad. It was just okay. But that is what it is. We got there, we got fed, we bullshat, we moved on. We went to another local place. It was called Big Play. It's where it's like a little kids arcade that has a bowling alley and a bar in there as well. We hung out there for a little while, did some bowling. And then we hit a bar up at night like typical men do on a bachelor party. Had a good time, rounded out the guys. So it was a good time. Bachelor party, good stuff. As far as gaming goes, I'm pretty sure you know what I've been doing. I've been playing fucking Breath of the Wild.
You've been playing Demon Souls.
No, sadly. I know that PS3 over there is like, man, it's been a minute. Okay, I get what's going on here. I've been replaced, but I will get back to Demon Souls. No, I've been playing Breath of the Wild, just like you said. Every spare chance you get to play Andromeda, every spare chance I get, I'm playing Breath of the Wild.
Hopefully it was more than 6 hours.
Very much more than 6 hours. Again, I'm not talking about this game yet. As far as the podcast itself goes, I will probably never talk in depth about this game until Adam plays it.
Okay.
And for everybody else that wants to force this motherfucker to do the right thing under God's God's yellow sun, he has a Wii U. Guys and gals, all he has to do is drive down the fucking road and swing by any game store or department store and pick up a copy of Zelda Breath of the Wild and take it home and play it, but he's not doing it.
You know what? I have a copy of Twilight Princess at my house.
Doesn't count.
Still in the wrapper.
Good. Let it sit beside because it's two different totally fucking experiences. The only thing spoiler free I will talk about is I finally beat one of the big bosses in the game. The dungeon was pretty cool. The boss, I'm gonna leave all this for my big, review when I talk about it one day. Are you enjoying it? Yes. I'm still 5, 6, 7 days into this game. I'm close to 20 something hours. I've done a lot of shit. There's a lot more to do, and I'm still enjoying the game.
You were at 17 the last time I looked. You're only at 20 something hours?
I'm
son of a bitch.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe I'm looking at when I look at the time, I may be looking at the game time.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's telling me that's like,
maybe you just die that much and have to restart.
I could, and I may do this on a break one day or something. I could pull up the file and see if it has like a total hours, but yeah, regardless. I know I've physically played the game since I last talked about it, since I've owned it, and every single day pretty much, and I'm having a good time with it. So
awesome.
All right, Adam, I think it's time we get on today's topic.
Oh shit.
Now normally
shit off.
I just want y'all to know right now, you're in for a treat today.
Am I?
Well, I'm talking to the audience, but yeah, you too. Normally we make it we've gotten to the habit of making it a habit that we don't let loose the topics of what we're going to talk about until the actual podcast. We like the surprise nature of that. But given the nature of today's episode and what we're about to fucking get into, decided it was kind of important for guys and gals to be involved in what's going on.
Okay.
So, I have told Adam weeks ago when we made when the discussion was made about what the episode was going to be about. We said we're going to make top 10 Super Nintendo games of all time, ranked from 10 to 1 in how you liked them. So 10 being of the 10. Now, some trivia: Super Nintendo was released back in 91, in August of 91, and as far as I know, there's upwards of like 700 Super Nintendo games out there.
Yeah.
So there is a shit ton of games to go to. So this, again, just like when we recommend any Souls games to you, no matter what one you pick, you're going to have to tell
your list is shit.
Stop going behind the curtains and reading my list and then telling people you're reading my list because now it's weird. Let me sell this shit, okay? Let me do the math, okay? Like when Adam and I recommend Demon Souls or Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne, if you play any of those in the series, you're going to have a good time. Well, same thing with this top 10 list. I mean, there's 700 something games out there. We're recommending 10 for you guys. We have picked these 10 as our personal, between he and I, top 10. We are going to debate this. We're going to discuss this in a very polite manner.
Yeah,
Exactly. But ladies and gentlemen, I have been telling Adam for weeks now, you're not prepared for this list. And I know what he's been thinking in his head. Man, he's gonna, Michael's gonna throw some off the wall shit. He probably broke the rules and didn't do Super Nintendo. He did Super Famicom, which, number 1, I ain't played, and 2, they don't count. No, Adam, that's not what you're not prepared for. You've been over weeks debating this top 10 list, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been going over this list real hard, and you've had your own little battle just like I had with mine of, man, which one's better than which, and getting them in a ranked order.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, Adam. Today, for me and the audience as a whole, you're not debating the top 10 Super Nintendo games from least to first. Today, you're playing devil's advocate. Today, you're going to tell me and the audience how shitty these top 10 games are. You're about to pick apart every single fucking game in your list with no positive traits, and you are going to shit on these games from the least shittiest to the absolute worst. So, the audience doesn't know what your list is, but you're going to be giving them your top 10 from least to greatest, but you're going to be shitting on them the entire time. So here we go.
Damn.
That's the rules.
So I have to defend your shit.
That's
you have to defend mine.
That's the rules for today. No, you just got to shit on your games. That's what I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me, like, okay, I'll give you an example. Let's just let behind the curtains for a bit. What's your number 10?
My number 10?
Yes.
My number 10 game is Earthworm motherfucking Jim.
All right. My number 10 game is Breath of Fire. We're not going to sit here and bullshit about how good Breath of Fire is and how good Earthworm Jim is. Tell me why that game is bad.
Because it's a fucking platformer. Fucking, you fall down pits and fucking...
Go ahead.
You slam
Start it off.
You got the goddamn horrible fucking level where you have to go underwater and try to avoid shit like that Ninja Turtles fucking damn level, and it's like, oh god, no. Yeah, there's some pretty fucking shitty things.
So tell me, because we're on round 1 right now.
Okay. Well, I was completely unprepared.
Yes, you are. And also, I want to say...
the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do in the podcast, buddy.
This is why this is fun. I do want to stress to the audience, now this does seem unfair because Adam didn't know this rule and I did.
It is totally unfair.
I still had to make this list because, again, when you think about it, guys and gals, it's still a top 10 list. We're just giving negative points instead of positive. So we still had to, we both have to.
I think it would be more fun if.
I think you need to save that idea for another podcast.
Fuck you.
Today, we're doing this. So round 1. We could even, now, if we were to debate this, if we were to make a debate, we would probably loosely have it a debate. I'd say around 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, we'd start really debating which pick is better. Mm-hmm. We needed to start debating why is your game shittier than my game? So you start the round off since you started talking. Why don't you tell me why Earthworm Jim is a shittier game than Breath of Fire? This is an easy one, by the way.
I win. It's a platformer. It's not a goddamn RPG, for one.
Okay.
So that automatically makes it a worse game.
So I win. You have seceded.
Yeah, I secede.
No, you need to shit on Earthworm Jim, just like you've been doing. Tell me tell me the bad things about the game.
The bad things about the game, sometimes the hit detection isn't very good. The sound
I can agree.
The sound is inferior to the...
I can't tell you how many times I would whip and have to hit a hook or something and see, and I had to fall down and get back up there and whip. And you would see you'd see Jim's head like go around the hook or go by it and it wouldn't connect.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh god, why? Any kind of platformer that requires that, especially with fucking a whip action like hooking, like I don't care if it's Super Castlevania or anything like that, if that fucking hit detection isn't perfectly on, it's very hard. It's one of the games where you have a projectile weapon, you know, but you don't have projectiles on the screen.
Right.
If that makes sense. So, you know, it's kind of hard to track sometimes where you're hitting.
Yeah.
You know, and especially if enemies are flying in a weird way, it's kind of hard to tell whether or not you're connecting. You know, other than the fact that you see the impacts on the enemy.
It's literally spray and pray at points.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, but otherwise it's a platformer. I think it's a pretty good platformer. It was one of my...
You talking positive.
It made my top 10.
Quit talking positive.
Made my top 10, but, and I...
The mentality is
I
there's
am not
somebody
a platformer guy. I do not fucking like platformers.
Oh, God.
But
That's another episode for another day.
But this fucking game made my top 10.
Okay, well, here's the thing. This is how you need to start treating these items. Imagine going up the list that somebody out there that this is their number one game. Okay, Earthworm Jim out there, of the 700 people that would hear this, one person's like, man, I've got fucking Earthworm. I got Jim tattooed on my arm. I met the voice actor for the cartoon. I love Earthworm Jim. Hurt this man.
Okay, well,
hurt him.
For one, it didn't. The whole lives thing kind of fucking kills it. I mean, I know it's a staple of the platformers in general, but I mean, in comparison to games like Metroid and stuff like that, where you had a save system, it was very different. The levels were all one-off levels, just like a fucking Mario game. You know, you have one that it did have some unique stuff in there, but the unique stuff was just kind of one-off. You know, you had like one level where it's just nothing but bungee jumping and shit like that, and that was fucking cool. But I mean, you know, that's a whole level.
Yep.
You know, it did not raise the bar for what a platformer is. It was just so incredibly stylized that it made a very good point.
Right.
But it was not, for one, it did not have, you couldn't beat this game 30 different times and have 30 different experiences.
Right, right.
You were going to play this game, you'll have a good time playing it the first couple times you play it, and after you've beaten it a couple of times, it's gonna run dry. You know, it doesn't have it's got a whole lot of playability, but not a whole lot of replayability, if that makes sense.
Once you play it 1 or 2 or 3 times, you're like, yeah, I've been there, done that.
Yep, yeah, I've played this fucking game. I know what it is. Yeah. You know, even something like Super Mario World, you know, when you play that, you can go back and beat the level again a second way and, like, you know, get the key this time and go a different path.
You can go straight run through, or you can start picking side levels. You can start opening switches that you didn't before, or whatever.
Yeah, stuff like that. And you go back, it added a lot of replayability, and that's the very first Super Nintendo game ever came out. Well, this one didn't try to push any of those kind of boundaries. It was very stylized. It was very unique, and I thought it was very cool.
Let me shit on the uniqueness of this game. I think this game was one of the first games back in the day, and I'm speaking about games kind of like Boogerman, I guess. This is one of those games that was the try-hard different. I mean, the queen was princess, remember, you're supposed to be shitting on this game, so if this shit rings with you, you need to be like, yeah.
No, not really.
I mean, you had a point in the level where there was a cow on a fucking rock with a stick on the rock, and if you stepped on the rock, you launched the cow, and you're like, wow, what's up with that? And then way later, the cow comes back and squishes the princess, and you're like, wow, that was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there was...
but, I mean...
There was an enemy that was a crow that was in a suit, just like Jim was in a suit, and it was Psy-Crow. Get it? Because he's a psychotic crow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was the way the 90s were.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know,
it was back. It was different back when being different was actually cool. It wasn't everywhere you go.
And nowadays, it's kind of dated.
Yeah.
You know, but back then, it was very stylized. You know, there was a point where Sonic was cool.
Believe it or not.
It's got Sonic's longevity, too.
And that's legit. We're legitimately saying that. They were legitimately saying that. There was a point where Sonic was cool.
Yeah. It's just, you know, that time is not now.
Yeah.
So that would be, you know, one of the negative things is that maybe the humor and the attitude that it had has kind of worn off. You know?
Yeah, spoiler warning. I checked his notes. He actually has bullet statements by most of these games, and it's so funny that those notes are out the window, because now you got to shit on this game.
Yeah, well.
This is going to challenge you.
This is called being a douchebag.
This is
don't worry,
different.
I'm going to do it to you when I pick the next topic.
This is
I'm going to give you the
This
dick.
is challenging, and it shows if you can actually be a critic about your games.
Yeah, I can be.
Okay, just as off the cuff. But I have a top 15 list. I'm sure one day you may say, well, fuck you, I'm doing like a top 50 because 15 is not enough. However you do your list.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that if I wanted to, I could still find negative points about these games.
Yeah. Well,
you don't make a top 10 based on the least negative points.
You don't have an objective opinion about some of these things.
Yeah.
You know, there are plenty of bad things about any game you can find.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can even talk shit about Chrono Trigger when we get there.
Yeah.
Because you know it's there.
If we ever get there. Oh, you don't have Chrono Trigger on your top 10 list.
Yeah.
Let's stay on topic.
Yeah, if anybody knows me, if anybody has ever
topic.
listened to this podcast before, you fucking know it's there.
Let's stay on topic before you start spoiling your own list.
You just don't know where it is.
Yeah, you don't know where it is. All right, so my number 10 is Breath of Fire. So out there, so I got to get in that mind frame. All right, somebody out there, they love the Breath of Fire series so much that they probably love Breath of Fire 5. God help you. Everybody has their own taste, whatever. Breath of Fire. Okay. And I will admit, this is fucking hard.
You've had time to think about it.
And
Not me.
I have not thought about it. I've tried my best not to. Cause again, when you're physically looking at my list right now, you see my top 3 and 4 and 5. Mm-hmm. That's fucking rough, bruh. So I was
no, I've got you.
I was like, oh man, I should
I've got you on a couple of these.
Okay, we'll see. Anyway, on topic. Let's focus here. Get the podcast on track, producer. Yes, sir, you got it. Breath of Fire. All right, so this was an RPG. It was about as bland, archaic RPG style as you can get. It had a different view setting. It had that isometric, view.
Yeah, 3/4 view.
Yeah, with 3 or 4 members in a party, but The music was kind of ho-hum. There was a point in the game where you literally couldn't fucking see your character, and that was the gimmick. You had to go through a maze without seeing yourself, and of course there's random battles the entire time, so that was monotonous and boring. You had throwaway characters, like once you made your party of the, typically of the 3, if you found like 5 characters that you genuinely loved, you didn't really care about the other ones.
Yep.
There was no need or desire to build the other ones up. Unlike Breath of Fire 2, which you could actually merge characters together and gave you incentive.
Yeah, you could merge them.
Yeah. I don't remember where, I'd have to go back and play it again and remember where, but there was a bit of a difficulty spike somewhere in that game where you just need to go grind, and anytime you gotta grind in RPG just to get past of something, it kinda sucks.
Yep.
They put puzzle-ish type things in different dungeons and levels, which puzzles are fine, but when it takes you time to walk around to find these things and you have random battles every 5 seconds, it gets old, it gets monotonous.
Tedious.
Tedious is the word I'm looking for, yes. Oh man, this is rough. I feel so bad.
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, there are way better RPGs out there than Breath of Fire. It's okay. I mean, if you don't play it, you're alright.
What?
There are other RPGs.
It's on your top 10. You can't be that bad.
I'm buying the bit. Fuck you.
You're just like, fuck it. I don't want to not make people want to play my top 10.
So I'm going to say that.
I mean,
but hopefully,
any game that made it to the top 10 should be worth fucking playing.
That's what I'm saying. Hopefully our audience has understood. These games are on our top 10 list. So all of them are must-plays.
It's okay to be objective. It's not okay to be a dick for just being a dick's sake, okay?
It's hard to find things bad about Breath of Fire. There, you wanted me to say it? I said it. Okay, fuck you.
Yeah, there you go.
But that would mean that you had more points than me, and that would mean that Earthworm Jim is worse than Breath of Fire. I mean, Breath of Fire is worse than Earthworm Jim. Fuck you, no it's not. Alright, anyway, moving on. So the next group, number 9, the next one up. What is your number 9?
You can start with number 9. We'll just alternate.
Oh, fuck you.
Yep, I wanted to see this. I want to see this.
Oh, the reality just set in.
You gotta do it not once, but more than once.
Just shut up. The reality just set in.
Now let's do it.
Oh my God.
Do we need to take a break?
Number 9. No, we don't need to take a break. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna fucking man up.
We're doing it live.
My number 9. The next least best game is Mega Man X.
Oh.
Let's talk about this game's flaws.
I'm surprised, actually. I'm surprised because our lists are not the same.
Okay, negative points. I know some fucking people out there put Mega Man X in their top. I know. Well, here's why you're wrong.
Here's why this game fucking sucks.
Okay, so I love secrets in video games. I love when there's little treasures and hints and hidden things.
Well, fuck that.
Well, fuck
secrets.
that. Because in Mega Man X, how the fuck on this planet was I supposed to know that if I had all energy tanks, and if I had all the sub-tanks, and if I had all the parts, and if I went to this specific spot in the game and died, I believe it was 5 times in a row, on the 6th go-around, a capsule would pop up and I would get the Hadouken. What kind of fucking Nintendo Power bullshit is this? That is a really cool power-up. Yes, it pretty much one-shots everything in the game, 2 shots for some bosses, but you can't have something that cool and that be stupidly fucking elusive to get to. I mean, I want one of you motherfuckers out there to tell me that you did not hear about how to do this from anybody and you just stumbled upon that shit on your own one day. Yeah. Because you are one lucky motherfucking person.
Yep.
So there's that. They had a really cool thing that was so hidden away that is beyond bearing. Man, what else? There's bosses. There's some shit bosses.
Bosses are
There's
shit.
some shit
They're
bosses
totally
in
not
that
fucking
game.
cool as shit. Yeah.
There's a spider boss that when I first fought him back in the day, he was a wall for me because it seemed like it was just 1 point of damage or 2 points of damage every time you hit him. And you can't hit him until he goes through his bullshit and lands, and even then you have a very small window and it's just seemed kind of whatever. The boss that's God.
The boss that's God. God boss. Mega Man kills God.
I thought that the Sigma, like you fight a wolf and then Sigma and then the two merge in this wolf Sigma. That was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
It didn't match the intensity of the naming conventions for some of the bosses when they became localized, you know, Boomer, Quanger, what?
Yeah.
All right.
Chill Penguin.
Hey, that's a good joke. So there is a boss in Mega Man X called Chill Penguin. Well, if he's a chill penguin, what's the fucking fight about? The fact that they force you to have the dash boots, which I guess makes sense because later in the game you have to have the dash boots to get through.
Yeah.
But still, I think that could have been handled better. I don't know how. I'm not a game designer, but I don't know. That's really about all I got.
Damn.
For this, I mean, there were parts.
Okay.
That's the few parts in this game.
I guess we can move on to my number 9 then.
Yeah, your number 9, please, for the love of God.
My number 9
Save
was
me.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Oh, well, this is easy. Fuck Super Bowl games. I mean, fuck football games.
Damn.
Tell me why this game was bad. Tell me the bad parts.
The bad parts about this game is that it's a sports game. So if you don't like this sport, this game's probably not for you. There were some issues with it resetting, you know, its stats and stuff like that after a certain point. It was basically just the Nintendo version, the NES version, only upscaled. You know, it did make a couple of improvements, but for the most part, the gameplay, which was rock solid, was all the same.
What was that? I think we had a mic glitch there.
It was rock solid gameplay.
What? I feel like I think there's going to be some missing audio in.
Yeah, and there's something about it being like totally awesome. Or I mean, Tecmo Super Bowl was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, feel the pain.
Yep. I mean, you know, you're like, here, make a top 10 list, then shit on it. Let's see. I guess the crowds could have been a little bit more animated than they were. Some of the cutscenes get repetitive after a while.
And right now, there's the guy that made those audience effects is like, what fucking, come on! Come on! I worked with what I had! Come on!
Yeah. You know, you could easily cheat the game mechanics if you knew what you were doing. Like you went into like a 3-4 defense or something like that and immediately dove. You could kill anything that wasn't in the shotgun, and sometimes you could even fuck up the shotgun if they weren't ready to dodge it. There were super overpowered players where it was, totally easy to fling somebody into the crowd. So it had its hitches. Not so much that it ain't on my top 10 list, but
you come on now.
It was there. It had some serious flaws. A lot of there were like no logos on the helmets or anything like that. So
and the helmet designer was like, "What the fucking Super Nintendo?
It was the Super Nintendo.
It's
all they did was palette swap the fucking football players.
Oh my god! Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, basically.
You come do it, you fuck.
It's like, fight me, bruh. Fight me. But
you know what I got paid?
Yeah, it's not a whole lot I can do to shit on this game. It's just, there were some things that were signs of the times. It's aged a bit. You're not going to compare this to PlayStation era or modern era football games.
Yeah.
Okay, this was an arcade football game that, it wasn't super revolutionary, like I said, because it wasn't a ridiculous improvement over the NES. It was an all-around improvement over the NES. But if you compare it to the other games in the series that came later, it did start to lose luster, but I still think it's one of the best, one of the top 10.
You can't do it.
I can't shit on this game too much.
All right, well, when you find a point where you think you've had enough, just like I just did with fucking Mega Man X, you just back off and we'll go to the next one.
Okay, let's go ahead.
All right, so you get the next one. We're on the next group, which is number 8.
Number 8, I picked motherfucking Star Fox.
Oh, okay.
And the shittiest thing about this game...
Hey, good luck.
Yep, but the voices were fucking weird. Goddamn fucking weird. They didn't make any goddamn sense. Okay, there were straight polygons, no textures. There were, the cinematics didn't quite make sense. You didn't quite know what the fuck was going on if you didn't read the instruction manual. Okay, Slippy, it was invented by this game, and that is its own sin. Your friends were only there to get in your goddamn way. That was about it. They didn't really help. They didn't really hurt. But some of the levels could just cheese the fuck out of you. There were some straight cheese levels. Okay. I remember like the asteroids and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, oh, well, I can shoot through these, and then there's always that one asteroid that's like, fuck you.
Still pelts you right in the middle of your ship.
Mm-hmm. It could get pretty repetitive, and it suffered from giant glowing fucking block, giant weakness syndrome, like, oh, well, I wonder where I need to shoot him. Rudimentary polygons. It was what it was, man. It was its own great game, but, it had some glaring flaws that, stayed with the series, really.
Stayed with the horse pilot.
Yep. What's your number 8?
My number 8 is Donkey Kong Country 2.
Okay, well, you can say that this was a shit game that was the sequel to a shit game.
Oh, okay. You just want to take my fucking show now?
I'm gonna take your show. I'm gonna take your show, and I'm gonna fucking... It was the fucking shitty Kong and shittier Kong.
Right, so number 1, fuck you. Your opinion doesn't matter because you already said in the last section that fuck platformers, so
yeah, well,
nobody cares.
This was a platformer, and it was a shitty one.
All right, well, let me please. Ahead. This is my task to do.
Go ahead and tell them
Nobody
about
asked you about your shit opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So with the addition of Dixie Kong, I think it made a lot of levels fairly fucking easier because you had the ability to twirl your hair and float for a long distance. I think the way that you had to get 100% was just kind of ho-hum. You know, you had to go around to get creme coins, and you could turn them in. You could, I think it was the creme coins you could turn into the big whatever Kong, and you could unlock the secret area, in which you had better or more difficult levels, and that's kind of whatever.
I think that really it didn't make that big of an improvement over Donkey Kong Country.
Oh.
I mean, I mean, there were 3 Donkey Kong Countries on the SNES, and this one doesn't really stand out to me as being,
as far as mobility. I'm not trying to fight for the game yet, but the fact that you have somebody who can float for a long distance, that adds more mobility. That stretches the levels out. That adds more.
But does it do it artificially, or does it do it like in
Okay, look, you're breaking the rules. You're not making me fight for the game. I'm supposed to be critiquing this game.
So I'm critiquing it for you.
I think some of the bosses there were clearly bosses that were what the fuck ever. I mean, and Donkey Kong Country 1 was no saint in that area either. There was literally a boss where you just a toxic barrel, a giant barrel drops from the sky, and you just have to dodge it enough. Yep. And after you dodge it enough, you win.
Yeah.
I think the last boss of Donkey Kong Country 2 was just as pattern repetitive, trial and error shit, just like the first one. So that's you get to the end of the game, and it's like, oh, let me just memorize these 8 patterns and I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of skill. I say that loosely. Not a lot of skill involved. There was other bosses that weren't that good. I thought the level, I want to talk about the good things so bad.
Right.
There was a boss that was like a sword that floated around, and you beat him by jumping from hook to hook and basically dodging the sword, and that felt kind of ho-hum.
Yeah, it's kind of forgettable.
There were also levels in that game that could cheese you pretty hard. Now, some of them were designed to be that way. There were levels that were designed to be hard, but there were also levels that just you could get. There was one level that could fucking burn your eyes because there was a fish that followed you around. I forget his name, but if
Ungarde or whatever the fuck his name was.
Oh no! I'm sorry. There was a level where I think it was Squawks followed you. It was either Squawks or it was a fish, but it was an underwater level, and if you swam back and forth past this animal, it carried a big flashlight, and if you went past it, the light would swing back around the other side, but the light would flash in your screen and just. That's a very cool fucking thing.
You know what I hated
trying to do that?
You know what I
really
hated,
cool.
You know what I hated about all those games?
The minecart levels. Move on.
The minecart levels, specifically.
Yeah. That's really about all I can do.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
Oh, God. So we're moving on to the next one, number 7, and I gotta start this shit off. Hey, back down memory lane. My number 7 pick was Mega Man X2. Oh, joy.
Wow, what an inventive title.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you the bad things about X2. Okay, so one was Wheel Gator, one of the bosses. He fucking dives under the ground. He makes the fucking blood water wave up and down, spits out shit at you. The water level goes back to normal, and he jumps out. And he's up for sometimes a split second. You can get one shot, and he goes back in the water. The blood water waves up again. The fight was incredibly long. Even when you used his weakness weapon, it was just, he goes, and you're hoping that he sits up out of the water for long enough for you to get at least 2 shots instead of just 1. But, annoying. Very annoying boss. He's not annoying because he's difficult. He's annoying because he takes too fucking long. there was another convoluted secret, the way that you get the Shoryuken in that game. Again, I challenge somebody I think you could find the area. There's a clear ladder in Sigma 2 stage where you can see, okay, if I can get up to that ladder, that must lead somewhere different and more difficult. And then if you happen to be sliding down the left wall instead of sliding down the right wall, you go into this area. But if you don't have the right prerequisites, the capsule's not there. So again, I think just like X1, knowing the prerequisites that make that shit happen, odd. Very, very random shit to know. The only difference is, in X1, that capsule didn't appear, and there wasn't there was a health regen item up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you happen to jump off that cart and get up there, you're at least rewarded with that. But you can't, there's no way you would have known that, hey, a fucking capsule appears here if you've got the right fucking magic ingredients. Same shit with this area. Now you know this secret area holds something, but you don't know what it is.
Well, I also think that it's not a huge leap from Mega Man X.
Fuck you.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at a top 10 list, those two games are going to be very similar.
They're very close.
Very similar.
I don't like dead space on my mic, but my God, this is rough. This is fucking... the speeder bike level... if I remember right, this was the introduction to the speeder bike levels, which came later. I think there was another one in Mega Man X4.
Mm-hmm. Just like Battletoads?
Kinda, yeah. And you could die to those fairly easy if you didn't shoot down pillars fast enough. There was a part where you fall down a pit. There's another part where you wind up, if you're in jump mode and you keep jumping and jumping, you can land on a fucking pit of spikes. And if you whoa your boobs and turn around your bike, you don't do that fast enough, your fucking bike explodes.
Yep.
You're now landing on spikes and you're dead. So I could.
There's points where that game just completely fuck you, but that's a Mega Man thing.
Yeah.
Mega Man's all about like, yep, you didn't know that was coming, so fuck you, you're dead.
Yeah. There was. Some of the names for some of the weapons were just very not creative at all. Yeah,
they started running out of weapon names around, the 7th or 8th entry.
I'm fine. I'm fine with the names. I'm just trying to find I'm fucking reaching for straws here to find negative stuff about this.
I mean, it's hard to shit on Mega Man. It really is.
Yes, it is. That's probably where I'm gonna stop.
That's where you're gonna stop?
Yeah,
okay.
So
we'll move on to my number 7.
Yes.
That's fine. Okay, my number 7 was the original motherfucking Mario Kart.
Okay.
If you're gonna shit on Mario Kart, I guess you could say that it offered 2 game modes and they weren't all that different from each other. So you had like the slower / slightly easier version, and then you had the slightly harder version. It fucking introduced Rainbow Road, which fuck that road, and the rainbows that spawned it. There were clearly easy ways to cheat across courses.
Oh yeah.
Like you could straight like cut off like half the fucking course if you knew what you were doing.
Oh yeah.
You could
I didn't like the coin. Do you remember what coins did in that game?
They increased your speed. They increased your acceleration.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that.
No. There were, I think, like, I didn't like that Donkey Kong was included, because it didn't seem like,
but he was a heavy. That was the point of him being there.
That was the point of him being there.
Same with Bowser.
Same with Bowser. But I feel like you could have, like, kept it more in Mario's realm, if that makes more sense. I mean, Donkey Kong is in Mario's realm, but not really in Mario's realm. You don't see Donkey Kong fighting fucking Koopa Troopas and shit, nah.
I get what you're saying.
Hey, he's not, hey, you could have thrown like a Hammer Brother or...
The game wasn't called Nintendo Kart, it was called Mario Kart.
Correct. You don't see fucking Link goddamn gets a cart, okay?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
man, I never even thought about this. What the fuck was up with this?
Why the fuck is he there?
And why are we on, what, the 8th or 9th Mario Kart now? And it's still the same? I mean, it's generally Mario people.
Yeah.
Huh.
But Donkey Kong's there for some reason.
That's fucking crazy.
Why can't Link get a fucking
Where's
cart?
Link? Where's Samus? Where's Star Fox? Good Lord. Hey, Star Fox, we need your help.
It might as well be the same
There's
lineup in Smash
Kart
Brothers.
Tournament, and we need you to race a cart. Oh, you want me to get out of my fucking...
Might as well just go ahead and say whatever fucking the Smash Brothers lineup is going to be fucking Mario Kart if you're going to play fucking Smash Kart. Is what
That's
it should
a
be
free
called.
one, Nintendo.
Yeah, there you go.
Adam, save
just
it
go
for
ahead
yourself.
Go ahead and put the fucking ice climbers in there.
Save it for yourself.
Yeah.
You could win just a lot of money in this one. You're in Nintendo's world now.
Yep. So, I mean, other than little persnickety stuff like that, it's not. There's not a whole lot you can do to shit on Mario Kart.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Right. So I guess we're moving on to number 6. Adam, what is your number 6 on this list?
My number 6 is Pilot Wings.
Oh, this is fucking easy.
Yeah.
Here's another shit game right here.
Shit game. Well, it had some shitty stuff about it. Okay, it had a very steep difficulty curve for some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to get your licenses was fucking pain in the ass. Okay. Some of the graphics were kind of shitty. They were that old rotoscope kind of fucking shit where, they like to do the rolling backgrounds and stuff, trying to make it look cool.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the planes were made out of goddamn glass. So there was some bad stuff to do with that.
There were some Koopa Troopas in the Pilot Wings.
Goddamn Koopa Troopas and shit. It didn't get a sequel. That's another bad thing.
You sure?
For whatever reason, it did not get a sequel on Super Nintendo.
No, Super Nintendo, no.
No, it went all the way to the 64 before it got a new fucking...
Yeah. I think there is a Pilot Wings 2, but I think it's kind of like Star Fox 2. It was never released, so there's like a ROM version.
I've never played it. I've never heard of it.
I'll have to look that up. And again, I'm saying that in the realm of Star Fox. Remember, Star Fox was supposed to have Star Fox 2, and you can get and play Star Fox 2 today.
Star Fox 2 was like almost fully made. And just wasn't released.
And I think Pilot Wings 2 was in that realm. I could be making this up. Who the fuck knows? I've forgotten more games than half of these people have played. So
yeah, it's been a minute, but I never saw Pilot Wings 2. If there's one out there, fucking feel free to correct me.
Yeah, let us know.
But I've never seen it. The next Pilot Wings game I played was a massive improvement on the fucking 64. But, no, I didn't. There was some cool stuff. There was some not so cool stuff about fucking Pilot Wings. The easy way was to kill yourself on using like the jetpack and stuff like that. You had to be super careful about. No, very unforgiving game on like trying to land and stuff like that, trying to get your licenses, all those kind of stuff. They could have done some more stuff with Pilot Wings. I mean, I think they could have expanded the concept a lot, but they never did. And that's all I got to say about that.
I was waiting how long it was going to take for us to say that in this episode.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
We're on to my number 6. My number 6 is Super Metroid. Okay. Okay, so
we're starting to hit that point. We're starting to hit that point where
we are.
We're gonna start overlapping now.
We are, and yeah, we're getting to the point where it's really, really fucking hard to find negative shit about this game. Let's see. Okay, here's one. Maybe I'm just a dumbass.
Samus is a girl. Fuck girls. Girls suck.
I will wholeheartedly admit this is probably just me being a dumbass. When the first time that I played through Super Metroid, I did not know shit about what is the jump where there is a name for it. Somebody right now is like, before I even describe it, they're like, I know the jump you're talking about. but it's when you jump on a wall, you can, if you time it just right, you can hit the other direction and you jump off the wall and you hit another wall and you can basically just wall jump, but it takes like ultra precise timing.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, there's a specific name for everything that she does, and there's one for that. Well, there are little critters, there are little animals in that game that visually they show you that you can do that shit. So my first, probably second or third playthrough, I never fucking knew about that jump. And I probably passed those little, they're not wide out in the open. I don't remember them being wide out in the open. But the idea apparently was, if you were watching these little monsters, these little animals, they will teach you tricks. Yeah. Like the jump where when you got the dash ability and you run at full speed and you stop and crouch and you've charged your energy and you fucking jump straight up. There's a little animal that shows you to do that. So
those are the Metroids, man. They show you how to suck people's brains and shit.
Yeah, Metroids are good at sucking.
Yep. So is Samus.
Hey.
No. Oh,
hey.
shit. Oh, shit.
Hey. The game doesn't have much dialogue. It doesn't have much text except for the beginning. I don't think the end did, except for thank you.
Not a whole lot of context
just
after you
as
get the initial bit.
Just as Mega Man X did, they showed you by making Mega Man X taught you things because they put shit in your path to make you figure it out.
Yeah,
which is one of the great things about the game's design. That's how, but the little animal thing is how they handled the extra cool moves that Samus could do in that game. And I never figured that out. I saw them and I saw them and I thought them doing cool stuff, but I was like, I don't understand what these animals are doing here or whatever. I've just moved on. Yeah. And then later they're like, yeah, you can spine shatter jump and all this shit or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought that was poorly implemented. I can't believe I'm fucking saying that out loud because I actually think that's a really fucking cool idea.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah, right.
What did I say? Right. I think there were a couple bosses that I didn't care for. I believe Fantoon is his name, the big fucking green monster with the eyeball that has all the blue flames around you. Kind of cheesy, kind of gimmicky. Didn't really care for him. Ridley fight was pretty cool. Kraid fight was pretty cool. The red fucking, I forget his name, but the one where you gotta keep pushing him back and pushing him back and pushing him back and he falls in the lava. Ooh boy, that was not that hot for me.
No.
But it was really cool when a skeleton jumped out at you. Let's see. I'm really thinking about other stuff.
You don't have to break your balls trying to figure it out.
Oh, I'm trying to, because this is my fucking rule set, and I need to be critical. I need to see.
I mean, you can find legit complaints about the game. Then it is what it is. But if it's not really a legit complaint about the game, then I mean, a lot of these games are classics.
Yeah.
And the reason they're classics is because they don't have a whole lot of flaws. Now, if you can find a reason to say, okay, well, this wasn't ideal, it is what it is. But I don't want you being like where you have to fucking reach for some shit and say, oh,
I'm already reaching.
I mean, you're reaching.
I was reaching back in fucking Breath of Fire. Trust me.
I mean, Breath of Fire. Okay, the music was.
Thanks for the pep talk, Dr. Phil. But we got to do this.
Look here. We
got to fucking do this.
You gonna cash me outside?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
That's where I brought this. You brought Dr.
The material that you
brought
have,
Dr. Phil
the awesome quality that you bring.
You brought Dr. Phil into this.
You kept it full circle, huh?
And I'm keeping it full circle.
You. That was shitty. Way to go, Meme Central Facebook news feed.
That's right.
BuzzFeed guy. Right. What's your number 6? Or is it? Are we back on?
All right, so you got to go to the next one.
Do I?
You got to start this one off.
What was your number 6?
My number 6 was Pilot Wings.
Okay. I'm just making sure I got it right. Oh, okay, sure. Let me go to my number 5.
Yeah, I've been waiting on this.
I know.
I was smiling as soon as I realized.
Like, it's funny because you get a good break and then I get a good break. This
is where you break yourself.
My number 5 is Super Mario RPG. Okay.
Fuck you.
Here we go, boys and girls.
Here we go.
The fact that... okay, so they just basically straight up copied the Power Rangers.
Yep.
There's that.
A lot of things do that.
They could have handled that way better.
The Power Rangers copied Voltron, so don't feel bad.
No, the Power Rangers copied the
Voltron?
Super Sentai, whatever shit.
Power Rangers were Super Sentai, and they copied Voltron.
Yeah. I really should have thought about this shit.
Yes, you should have.
I should have cheated hardcore and just thought about legit shit, but I did not, and this is not cool.
Yeah. I mean, well, I can throw one out there. Gino fucking sucks.
Fuck you.
He fucking sucks. The frying pan is a really stupid and retarded weapon for somebody to use.
It was so stupid.
You could have fucking... I mean, when has she ever used a frying pan since? That is not part of her character. No. She's used more tennis rackets than frying pans. If it would have been smart when they did like the Mario Tennis to keep that frying pan in there so that it had some kind of continuity. But no, they didn't do that. Instead, you get a whole lot of weird shit that's one off and never seen again in this fucking thing, you know.
Let's see.
You know, the hammers made sense, but like not the frying pan, not at all.
There has to be something, man. There's got to be some things about this game. It's got to be.
The graphics were kind of I didn't particularly care for the graphics in this game.
I don't know. Graphics were okay.
They just flung a Final Fantasy boss in there for no reason.
Yeah, well, that was because it was a Squaresoft title.
I know.
I think it should have been as difficult as they tried to make that Final Fantasy fight. Even though you do get some pretty cool shit as rewards, I think it should have been more. I think it should have been something across the board for every single character if need be.
Yep.
But it wasn't. So there's that. I can't. I'm tapping.
Damn. I'm
tapping on that one. Move on.
We'll move on. My number
5.
My number 5 is again Super Metroid. This is where we're covering the same ground a lot. It's going to happen a lot in these last 5.
Because there's maybe gripes about it that you had that I didn't.
The only gripes I had about Super Metroid, I mean, you know, there were parts where you had to backtrack, you know, long distances to go do stuff. I didn't like having
I don't like
having to sprint out of there at the very end of the game, you know, where you had like that little timer going.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So basically you didn't like Metroid, the first Metroid either, or any Metroid after.
Yeah, I don't like that thing. I don't like that whole like, get the fuck out of here. You know, now you have to sprint. You know, there were some parts where, you know, you had the cheesality and it was like, okay, well, you know, this thing hops up and nails you so you can't make this jump and you fucking die. You know.
You kind of had a little bit of Ninja Gaiden flashback, didn't you?
That's a play. Yeah, fuck you. Jesus Christ. But, yeah, no, fucking, it had the platformer. It was a platformer. And that's one of the things that I'm not a big platformer guy. And now, these are the games that broke me from platforming because they were good enough to make me play them. Mm-hmm. Okay, but they weren't so good that they left a good taste in my mouth for future platformers. Okay. By the time we got to 3D era, I was done platforming. I do not like doing it.
So this is not like, when you say shooters, you're just kind of out of shooters for right now. You could probably have something to pull you back in. Are you saying platformers, you're just completely done?
Platforming, there's so much, like right now in Andromeda, I'm getting platforming action going on.
And oh wow.
And it's like, I feel bad. Like, I'm like, oh man, really? At least they don't make you pay for it in Andromeda. Like, fall off some shit, they'll just start you right back, you know. You kind of do the little link thing where you just, and you appear right back on the fucking...
Is there any penalty?
No.
Wow.
I mean, if you fucking jump off some shit, it'll kill you.
That's an episode for one day. Games that have no fucking penalty for shit.
Yeah.
Like, man, there's a reason why penalties exist. It's a risk
Andromeda
reward.
gives you some penalties.
Yeah, well, I'm talking specifically
You get shot to death, and you start over from 15 minutes ago in your firefight, which is its own fucking problem. The game doesn't let you save like you need to be able to. Mm-hmm. Ooh, God, I can't tell you. But, like, of those 6 hours, at least 3 times I've died and had to backtrack like 15 minutes or more.
Wow, yeah.
Ooh, that's painful. But no, if it's going back to Metroid, it's
shit on Metroid.
Stuff like that.
Super Metroid.
Stuff like that is just, you know, I don't like having to get like a certain type of missile to open up a fucking door. You know, shit like that makes no goddamn sense. Other than
okay,
just shit that doesn't fucking make sense to me. You know, it's like, okay, why do you need this?
Video games, right?
Video game, right? You know, because video game. That's why you have to
exactly.
Yeah, no, that's not a good enough reason for me. I like to have some fucking, you know, lore behind the reason why I can't open this fucking door. But other than that, I mean, I don't have any major complaints about the game. There's nothing game-breakingly bad about the game. Mm-hmm. There's just minor bitch sessions, you know, right. Stuff and stuff about platformers in general that I don't like.
That's what this is about.
It commits the sins of the father. Okay. You know?
Move on to number 4.
Number 4, covering some more of the same ground. I got Mega Man X.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Good luck.
I don't like that, you know, I just thought it was kind of tacky that he got pieces of armor at the different points. Oh. It was kind of a double-edged. It was kind of double-edged to me because, you know, he would be like wearing these white boots and the rest of them's blue.
I want to come across this fucking chair and punch you in the fucking mouth right now.
I thought it's kind of shitty.
Really?
You know? He's wearing some boots and like the rest of him is blue and he's like, look at my white boots and my blue everything.
He's getting upgrades, Adam.
I understand the concept, and like I said, it's a good thing and a bad thing. But he looks like shit the entire time you're playing him, up until he gets like a couple more upgrades. When he finally gets everything, he looks cool. But up until the point where he has
sacred ground right now, and I don't like it.
Up until the point where he gets everything, he looks like complete ass. He looks like a mismatched fucking piece of shit. Fucking fuckball. What kind of douchebag creator goes, let me just put all these parts in random fucking extremely fucking difficult to fucking find locations for you to get upgraded from? It just makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. You know, and then it suffers from the same platformer shit. You know, these are the games that burnt me out on platforming.
Oh, poor you. What a sad life you lead.
Poor me. I'm not a big fan of your favorite genre, but I can't handle it. I can't handle the bullshit, like, you know, oh no, you slide here when you hit the ground kind of crap. And, you know, it's, to me, that's artificial difficulty personified.
Okay, we get that you don't like platformers. Keep shitting on Mega Man X, you fucking asshole.
Like I said, it's a good game. Other than the fact that, you know, it has a couple, the hang-ups I will say are indicative to platformers in general and indicative to the Mega Man series in general, where you have, like, you know, bosses that require you to get, you know, be beaten a certain order if you want to have any decent shot in hell of defeating them. Mm. Because there's a lot of attacks where it's ridiculously hard to dodge shit if you don't have this thing, or it's completely impossible to beat him without this upgrade, you know. Mm-hmm. And for a average to decent gamer, you know, I'm not talking about some hardcore motherfucker that sleeps, you know, eats and breathes Mega Man, you know, can possibly pull this off, but for the most part, a lot of things require you to beat them in a certain order.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, it's part of the top 10. There's not going to be a whole lot of shitty things about the game as far as mechanically wrong with it.
Yeah.
I do agree with you that, you know, finding the Hadouken was kind of a fucking, you know, Nintendo Power-esque kind of bullshit.
How in the fuck? Yeah.
Like, how the fuck would you ever know to do that? And you'd never know to do that. Yeah. I didn't know about it till years later. Mm-hmm. You know, and then I went back and did it again because fuck yeah, I'm gonna fucking find that shit. But, yeah, no, I was well into the PS2 era before I fucking realized that was there, and then I went back and got it.
Okay. Well, moving on to my number 4. My number 4 is... Oh, boy.
Here we go.
Yep. Fine line shit now. My number 4 is Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Commonly just known
that
as...
was super easy to shit on.
Says you.
Says me.
Says you.
Says me. Shouldn't be in the top fucking 50, much less 4.
Should've just made this. We just shit on each other's list then. Jesus. Okay, so, issues with Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island.
Not really Super Mario 2.
Yeah, it's not generally Super Mario World 2. I think they just added that. They tacked that on at the beginning just to sell more copies. I guess they didn't, maybe at this point they didn't trust Yoshi as an IP, because Yoshi really didn't have a strict IP itself. Mm-hmm. He was still just, I mean, he had like Yoshi, he had Mario World, there was Yoshi's Cookie, I guess. But I think we just want to make double sure before we just try to give a game that's kind of sort of mainly revolves around Yoshi. We need to make sure we tack on a big hit name like Super Mario World. So that's my one and only gripe. Nintendo didn't trust their own IP. Moving on.
Yoshi sounds like a fucking retard, and it's established that he's gonna be completely retarded.
Okay, how about this one? While some of the bosses were kind of tricky, and you had to use your brain a little bit to figure out how to beat them. But you had some, like there was a big bouncing blob of a character. I just like that move in Super Metroid. All the characters have names, so I'm sorry if I forget the name. But literally, the way you beat him is shooting eggs at him repeatedly, and he shrinks and he shrinks and he shrinks.
It also established that Yoshi uses his offspring as a weapon.
Sure, if you thought that deeply about a Mario game, sure.
I do. I think that deeply about it.
So every time you hit a block in Mario 1, you were like, oh no, I'm killing another Toad. Oh no, I'm literally killing people. I didn't know about that shit right there really till later in my life.
Yeah, that was pretty ruthless.
And even when I read that, I was like, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I get it, but I don't, Until Nintendo embraces that and makes that strict canon and they buy into it, fine. But that's one snippet out of a fucking instruction manual that
sometimes the stuff that you read in those fucking Nintendo manuals doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like they were just trying to add a story for no fucking reason. Mm-hmm. You know, like, let's add some more depth to this. Oh man, he turned all the people into bricks.
It's like,
wow, what? Why? Why is this necessary? He couldn't just, have like their leaders captured in a castle. That's not good enough. He turned all the rest of them.
We gotta justify why you're breaking them blocks, man.
Why would you want to break the blocks?
Why would you care why you're breaking the blocks? You know?
I mean, yeah.
But thanks for getting off topic for a minute, but that bought me no time. I didn't think, man, you're a good team player.
I tried to help you, but you didn't use your time wisely.
You see, here on the End of Time cast, Michael and Adam do have, differing opinions at times, but they do come together. They do help each other.
Yeah, we're buying you some more time right now. Oh, thank you, motherfucker.
Yeah, so like, that was an example of a boss. Another boss was you just have to push a fucking pot all the way across, and when that pot falls in the pit, you win.
Mm-hmm. That's totally not a euphemism for fucking drugs.
There were bosses that did implement the gameplay mechanics of Yoshi's Island, but there were some bosses. When you get to a boss, you want that to be either a culmination of things you learned, or you want it to be something that really implements the mechanics of the game. And I think some of the bosses just didn't. They were bosses to be bosses, so they were kind of throwaway. They could have been designed better or been better implemented.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just tapping on that one.
You want to tap?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're number 4.
My number 4 is already there.
Oh, okay. So I've God damn it. I've got.
Welcome
good.
to hell, sir. Fucking swing off on this one. I want to see it.
I did this to myself.
You did.
I did. I have been talking this shit up to everybody. I'm like, I can't wait till Adam has to do this shit. And I literally didn't think about my end.
Yep. Now get fucked.
My number 3 is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Oh boy.
No.
Let me shit on this game. Where do I begin? I don't fucking know.
Ooh, it's got a pun in the title. Rip.
Also had some bosses that I think could have been done better, even though...
Which ones, specifically?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. The boss that had the eyes, and you had to
that one.
Well, yeah, but you had to use the hook shot, and you got the hook shot, so that's why you did it. The boss, the knights, the 6 knights that just jump around and bounce around, and
Yeah, the Armos Knights.
yeah, that you didn't have. Correct me. You didn't have to kill them with arrows. Right?
No, you didn't.
Okay, well, bingo.
But it was much safer to kill them with arrows.
Right,
Because
so,
your sword only knocked them back a little bit.
yeah, force me to use the bow and arrow since I just got it. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fucking every Zelda ever, but yeah.
Okay. I agree with you, but you just happen to be the one that brought it up. That rod in the game, that its sole purpose is to drop a fucking block.
Yep.
I'm neither here nor there with that idea. I just feel if you're gonna have that as a dungeon weapon or a dungeon item, that should be implemented way more in the outside world.
Yep.
I know
there should be more stuff you can do with that.
Yes, I cannot stand, and there's other Zeldas and other weapons and other games that have this same thing where you'll go through an area and you will find this special weapon. And yes, of course you're going to use that special weapon in that dungeon, but you go out in the expanse of the real world and you find 1, maybe 2 very specific proprietary reasons to use that item, and otherwise it's pretty much useless.
Yep.
Like, you're not going to use that shit. What are you going to do? Put a block up in front of an enemy that's charging at you so he has to go around it? Maybe that gives you a half a second of advantage. I mean, it's not, that is a very, very throwaway item. Let's see.
Link switches the hand he uses his sword with sometimes.
Does
Maybe?
he?
Yeah.
I guess.
Depending on the way you run. If you run to the right with the Pegasus boots, actually, if you just look to the right, he pulls his sword out with his right hand. Huh. Every other direction he has is with his left hand.
Well, there we go. There's inconsistency in your fucking game, Nintendo. Way to go.
Good job.
Way to go.
Link is facing to the right. He's sword right-handed.
I'm done.
Damn.
I'm done.
Damn. Tilt.
I'm tilting.
Tilt.
What's your fucking number 3?
My number 3. Oh, fuck. Number 3 it is. It's the number 3 Final Fantasy.
Oh, this should be easy for you, Adam, because you and I have had a personal debate over a couple games, and Final Fantasy VI was one of those 2 games.
Yep.
And you just readily shit all over.
I didn't readily shit
on
yeah,
you was fucking stabbing it.
I compared it to...
Brutally stabbing Final Fantasy VI in the face.
I gave you the synopsis of why it wasn't better than my number 1 RPG of all time. Mm-hmm. And that is because of the following reasons.
Okay.
It has a traditional, at this point, ATB battle system.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm not saying that it didn't have anything new or inventive. There's a reason it's on this fucking top 10 of all time. Okay. I'm just strictly looking at the bad
We know
stuff.
we've said this repeatedly, but we can't help to say it.
There were 14 playable characters, if I'm not wrong. I think it was 14 playable characters in this game. Mm-hmm. Not all of them were as useful as each other. So it wasn't an equal thing. I mean, I guess you can't even really ask for that, but I guess you could.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff was like the fucking having to do moves and shit and like press like left, right, all that for his fucking goddamn attacks.
It hurts.
Fuck, man, it was super fucking neat, but it was fucking hard as shit to pull off sometimes.
Okay, there we go. So, yes, I love that innovation, but I didn't like the execution.
Yeah,
they wanted you to be very super specific on these controls. And if you got it wrong, you gotta enter it again.
Yep. So, I mean, to quote old shit for brains, where was this one point where, the party decided to split up and blah, 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 and you get to this point where you have to split up and use all these different party members. And if there's ones you didn't like / didn't fucking level up, guess what?
Tough shit.
You're in tough shit world now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta form 3 separate parties made out of these 3 separate out of these shit characters.
And you have to fight with them. You got to do boss battles with them.
You got to go through some pretty fucking hard in-game content with that shit.
Yep.
And I hope you're up to the challenge. Because I hope you split the groups in such a way that you had some fucking leveled characters to balance out the shit ones.
Or hope you've taken time to level everybody.
Well, that's what I'm saying is if you didn't fucking like Sabin and you didn't fucking give him any goddamn levels, then, he's 20 levels behind the motherfuckers you're fighting.
I know people that their hang up for that part, spoiler warning for Final Fantasy VI, Engage. I know some people in real life that, as opposed to in fake life, that their hang up in that area was not the fact that it was that, but they went the real bad route. They split the groups up, and they did it like, I like these 4.
Let me put them all in the same party.
Yes, and then these 4 I don't like that much. These other 4 I fucking hate.
Yep.
So they had one team that was
like a fucking A team.
Garbage.
They had like the A team, the C team, and the F team.
So they had
a team that's gonna shit stomp this dungeon, the team that's gonna go, oh god,
I'm using all your items,
but make it. And then there's the team that's like, nah.
One hit dead. One hit dead.
Oh.
Attack, 22 hit points.
Start the game over because you saved over your file.
You might want to think about that in the future if you ever gotta split your people up. You need to balance it.
So, I mean, those are some of the few critiques you can make of this fucking stellar RPG.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
On to number 2. We're almost at the end of this fucking
My number 2 is the same as your number
show.
3. Legend of Zelda.
Yes, tell me
of the title.
What did I miss, Adam? What horrible shit?
Well, there was that thing with the handedness switching. Let's see. Some of the stuff could get kind of tedious. Like I remember you had to grab this dude. You remember the bottle guy?
Yeah. Yes.
You remember you had to do the bottle thing with that guy, and he'd like fucking follow you or whatever. And anytime you had to fucking like the other Smith, you had to walk a fucking long ass distance with this dude following you to fucking get him to come back to the light world. Blah 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 blah. All that kind of shit. That would get tedious. Motherfucking some of the bosses. Their mechanics weren't quite like up to snuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, and this is a good example, the number 3 pennant boss, the big ass worm. You remember the big ass worm with crazy eyes?
Yes.
It hit on the tail.
Jughead, I will always remember seeing you play this game, and I remember you telling me that you were trying your best to beat him with arrows. I don't know if you could ever do it. I don't know if you ever did or if that was possible. That's always a memory I hold in my mind.
You can kill him with arrows.
Yeah. Well, I'm having a tough time, being the first time that I could ever play the game. I had a hard time doing it with the sword, and this fucker's bouncing around the level with a bow and arrow. And
well, not only that, but
was
if you
cool.
swack him in the
cool
wrong,
on you, Jughead.
If you swack him in the wrong part, you get knocked back. And his thing is over a damn pit. So if you fuck up and swack him in the wrong part, or, he just catches you in the wrong place and hits you and you go flying back, you'll fall off to the lower level and you have to start the whole fucking fight over again.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yes. Anytime in a game like that where you have to...
that kind of stuff gets annoying.
It sucks the time out of your life. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You're just like, oh, God, I gotta go
But
back.
hey.
That's just a theory.
Get good.
Wait.
Get good? Oh, hey. No.
But, no, seriously, other than... the game is pretty much stellar. We're approaching
shit on it more, Adam. You're doing a great job.
We're approaching this is number 2 of all fucking time. We're fucking goddamn.
We know this. You're supposed to shit. Is that all you got?
So it's not so much of a bad thing on the game. It's just, it has some annoying parts to it.
Yes.
Does that make sense? It has some annoying things.
Yes.
But you only have to do them once.
Right.
So they're annoying for a minute.
Except when you fall down.
Fucking fuck you.
Over and over.
Fuck
and
that
over
thing.
and over. And get bounced off.
And then you have to fight him again and gain his fucking cat. And fuck that shit.
All right. So that was your number 2, right?
That was my number 2. So guess who?
Oh, Jesus. Help me. My number 2 on the list is Chrono fucking Trigger. Let me shit all over this game.
Go for it.
I've been waiting for this one.
It fucking spawned this really shitty sequel.
Let me talk about the fucking stereotypical goofy ass throwaway villain that is Dalton. Whoop-de fucking do with that guy. Every time that guy came around, he was a joke. I didn't care about him.
That was the point.
I cared about... I fucking know that, Adam. Shut up. It's my shit. You're ruining it. You're ruining it.
That was the point.
This is hard enough as it is. Don't fucking ruin it. Oh. Chrono Trigger. Yeah. Bad points. I didn't care for the fucking minigame shit. I liked spoiler for Chrono Trigger. Engage. Chrono Trigger dies. Fuck that red hair.
Chrono Trigger dies?
Chrono.
Not Chrono Trigger dies.
What's his last name?
His name is fucking...
Chrono what?
He has no last name.
Trigger is his last name. It's canon. Look it up.
Wow.
Chrono dies in Chrono Trigger. Okay. And this again may have been for YouTube. This is the first time in a game that I remember that a fucking main antagonist died. They flat out kill him, and I had never experienced that before. The things you had to do to bring him back felt more like side questy, go here, go there shit than like canon, like using Magus's dark magic through a combination of Scala's magic through maybe having to touch some part of Lavos. There wasn't really a story way that they brought Chrono back to life. It was more like, yeah, go do these things, go do these mini games, bring these parts together, you get Chrono back. The fact that game had the main character killed off, it should have been as equally storytelling and narrative based that you brought him back to life, and you didn't really get that. So that could have been done better. Let's see. Yeah, Dalton was a throwaway. I do get to the parts with Dalton, and I'm like, I just want to get through this shit because I don't fucking care about Dalton. He's a fucking joke. Oh man, there's really not a lot that I can fucking bash on this game. I don't like racing. So I didn't really care for it was Johnny something.
Yeah, it was like one little mini game where you fought
his name. It was something Johnny or Johnny something, or maybe it was just Johnny.
Yeah, it was just Johnny, I think.
Not only was
Johnny's the man.
Yeah.
They even gave him his own little theme song. All the enemies come out and you're thinking they're about to kick your ass, and then they're like, no, it's Johnny.
I was going to sing while you talk. I don't like racing at all. I don't really like it that much. I'm not saying I like it all. But I didn't care for that part. And also, it was, even in my dumb, young teenage years, I figured out easy how to beat that game. How you could just wait to the last fucking minute
and blow everything,
and then jump in front of him and have him basically boost you across the finish line, or you could just hold your sprint to the last minute and then get that last push in there and just boom, 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 you win.
Yeah.
And it felt very throwaway, and I didn't like the fact that I think every time if you wanted to go back and forth between those two areas, you had to do the race because you had to race across that area. I was like, nah, I don't like that. But that's a personal nitpick. Ding ding, motherfucker! Ding 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 ding,
right.
ding ding
well,
ding ding.
Let's hear number one then.
Yeah,
let's hear it.
Yeah, my number one of all time Super Nintendo game, Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI.
Final Fantasy VI.
So, about this game and its bad points.
Since I've already laid them out for you.
I think that there was a shit ton of items in this game, and if you didn't have the wherewithal to just get over your hoarding mindset and just use the fucking items, you beat that game, probably not even use even a fifth of those items, and you had just a wellspring of items in your, but that's not a...
That's an RPG thing.
That's an RPG, and that's
something that's fucking every RPG I have, I ended up with 400,000 fucking items. It doesn't matter whether it's Xenogears or Mass Effect. It doesn't matter. I'm a fucking hoarder.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to need this thing, and then you need it, and you're like, I'm not going to use it because I might need it later.
I did make this argument for our RPGs list. I mentioned that, yeah, every fucking character in Final Fantasy VI is useful. They have a little bit of story to them or a lot of story to them. And even Umaro, and that is true, but if you really want to get nitpicky, if you really want to get down to it, you could toss Umaro out the picture and you would be fine.
There's a couple throwaway characters.
You could kind of throw Mog out of the picture too. I mean, he was a cool character and he can use all kind of weapons and all. That's a really cool thing, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Go-Go, I mean, Go-Go's a cool fucking person, but he just copies. That's all he does. Nobody likes Realm, even though she's got some awesome fucking power.
Locke fucking sucks.
Man, fuck you.
Fuck you. Terra's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, did you do Terra's fucking terrible? Yeah. This is what we're known for right here, guys and gals.
You call it Puncast.
Here's a personal gripe I've had with Final Fantasy VI for years, and I've been holding this in. I think the fucking ending theme to it was stupid, and how they collaged up. No, I'm joking. Don't come and kill me. That was a joke. It's a joke because this is the number one Super Nintendo game for me, and it's also there's other games in this list too, but this game is on my top fucking 15 of all time. Really, really fucking hard to nitpick. I mean, if I really wanted to nitpick, I could also renege on another argument that I made in that RPG episode, that they took Amano's work and they did their absolute best with the graphics engine and the graphics ability to make that artwork appear in the game.
Yeah.
Some of those don't translate that well.
Not extremely.
Some of them look kinda, also, another one. Man, I'm really shitting on this game now.
Yeah, go for it. You get the floodgates coming open.
I get to suplex a fucking train. That shit's stupid. Get off this meme train bullshit. That was actually fucking cool. Yes, you get to suplex a fucking train in that game. That's not
fucking
something...
opera scene sucks.
Okay, well, I will say this. I don't care for opera. I've never been into it. I've been to a few of them. I've had girlfriends drag me to it. I've checked them out, but it's not something I'm into. So I didn't care for it, but the way they did it was good. I loved it. It was great in the game, but I just don't care for opera stuff.
This is shitcast.
Shit
on it.
When I saw that part, and it was like, oh, you're gonna have to take place in an opera, and you got to get the lines right, and it's gonna be this thing, and I was like, I don't really care for opera. This is not. I'm just gonna get past this point. But it was actually really good. It was really, really good the way they did it. Oh my god.
I mean, you know, what can you say? I mean, there's not a whole lot of legitimate
That's it. I'm
gripes.
done. I've shit on my whole list.
I think my gripes were a little bit more technical than yours.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Other than
whatever.
The fact,
you won being shitty to your favorite games over me.
I know.
Great, good for you. What's your number one, fucker? Because you're not done yet.
Oh, you know what it is.
My list is tapped out.
You know what it is.
My list is... No, I don't. The audience doesn't know. What's up?
Well, I bet they could guess. It's fucking Chrono Trigger, baby.
What? This is out of left field, man.
I mean, wow.
What?
Who would have guessed?
Chrono Trigger.
If there was anything I could say about Chrono Trigger, it's that the difficulty varies widely.
Mm-hmm.
There are points in the game where it's not exactly, it's one of those situations where you're gonna have to do one of those RPG things and grind the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
You know, grinding for your last couple of techs is a bitch.
Yeah.
Especially when you get Magus late in the game. Spoilers. And,
Way to go, Adam.
Yep.
Way to say spoilers after you...
I know, right? Anyway, so, you get the guy late in the game and he's got none of his shit unlocked. So you need to go grind like a fucking son of a bitch. I can't tell you how many times I went to that little forest in the,
yeah, I know the...
Yeah, you go to that little forest and you're like, I need to go hit the news because they give you like a fucking million AP every time you fucking kill one.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to go find that son of a bitch and beat his ass. And I would just sit there and, you know, make a big circle, wait for it to rain, and then go hit the thing, and then wait for it to rain, and go hit the thing. And oh man, just trying to just shit out fucking AP for these people.
You don't have a gripe about New Game Plus making the next subsequent playthrough about 2/3 of the game absolute fucking bullshit because you just bitch stomp everything? Come on, that's...
Well, I mean, you know, you do bitch stomp things, but it's not so bad as, you know, when you roll through the game in New Game Plus, it's super fun to shit stomp things, actually.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's so fun.
Yeah, and then when you're brought up on games like Chrono Trigger that does that, and then you get into later games, like we brought up in an episode before, you get into Dark Souls, and you're like, I got New Game Plus. Oh, I'm going back to that first Firelink area, and I am just fucking shit up. And they're like, yeah, come on, man. And then they fucking kill you, and they're like, nah, man, that's not the way this works. You're not playing Chrono Trigger. But yeah.
You know, but you get... The only things I can really say bad about it are, one, that, yeah, some of the mini games...
The music was bad.
Fuck you.
You gonna let me sing the whole thing?
That's Suikoden, man.
No, you shit. That was Robo. That was the cat.
No,
the robot.
that was
the Millennial Fair. Remember you?
Maybe it was just done so badly that I was thinking of Greg Mister.
So it's me.
Maybe it was just done so badly.
I was really hoping you're gonna interrupt me so I didn't have to sing that whole thing.
That was Gato's theme, I think.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Okay. I got you now. I figured it out. I was sitting here thinking Greg Mister, and then oh man, that was pretty terrible. Anyways,
How did you?
I don't know.
Fucking on.
I'm on fucking drugs.
You must be, because we just had to shit on our top 10.
Drug. I'm on the fucking, man, that was really terrible cast.
Do you have anything else to say about Chrono Trigger? Bad.
Anything bad to say about it? The mini games, like you said before, they weren't very in depth. There wasn't a whole lot to the mini games. Mm-hmm. You know, you either rapid tap the button or you basically just cheesed a race. Mm-hmm. Or I'm trying to think of all the mini games there were. There were the ones where you drink. Every one of these was covered in the Millennial Fair.
There was one that was like, where you picked. It was the cup that had the thing in it, and you was like, oh, I'm gonna shuffle it around. Which one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which one is it? Oh God. And it's like, and then you had the one where they mixed each other up. And he's like, I'm Vix, I'm Wedge, and they like walk back and forth real quick. Mm-hmm. And there was one you could cheat at the Millennial Fair.
Hey, spoiler! Everybody vote, pick Cadillac. Always pick Cadillac.
Oh, well, you can actually walk in front of them and slow them down.
I heard that you could do that. It never fucking worked for me.
You walk in front of them and then you just stop. And it slows them down just a little bit. You walk in front of them and you stop. Walk from, stop.
Now you know how to cheat that one a little bit.
So
I used to try that. I swear it never worked.
I used to make so many points off that.
But you were saying before I rudely interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Grinding is about the biggest part because I mean I'm one of those guys, man. I'm one of those guys. I find a fucking item that's ridiculously expensive, and I go, well, you know what? I am going to buy that. And they're like, oh, well, we'll give you 2 gold a pop for every enemy you kill. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess
I gotta go fucking do it.
Guess I gotta go grind out 1,500 gold at 2 enemies at 2 gold a pop.
Yeah, and again, playing this back in the day, long before internet was a big thing, so you couldn't just go to GameFAQs and go, what enemy gives me the most gold? What enemy gives me the most AP? It's like you just have to, well, let me go check the end zone areas of the ends of the game. Maybe I can find one, but you didn't know that there's some enemy in 600 AD that gives you a fuck ton of gold. You didn't know that because you don't have the guide.
This is one of those things where you just had to do trial and error.
Yep.
But, you know, there's not a whole lot of technical issues it had. Not a whole lot.
So I guess that wraps it up for our shitting on the list.
Oh God, man.
I know.
That was difficult.
I am sorry that I
was
did
not expecting this.
No, you weren't, and that's what made it fun. But my God, that was not easy.
Need some prep time for that, and maybe we can come up with some like justifiable fucking. Because a lot of those were opinions.
Yes, really.
A lot of those were like, oh well, I mean, kind of feel this way. Some of them were technical, you know, like Earthworm Jim and the hit detection. Okay, now that's serious. That's a serious problem with that game. But you know, I don't like the way Mega Man looks without all this armor on. You know, okay.
We're gonna have an episode off one day where we're gonna listen to ourselves do this shit, and we're just gonna be like, "Are you fucking? What the fuck, man?" So now that that's out of the way, heartbreaking and as painful as it was, we're actually gonna give everybody what we said we're gonna do. This may be a little quicker, and we are sorry if we're having to not give as much time, but this would be a 6-hour cast if we had to sit here and gush and bring back memories and everything. We're just going to try to run through the top 10 lists from least to greatest and give you some good points about them. So I guess I could start. My first is Breath of Fire. This was a RPG, kind of like in the same vein with Secret of Mana. It hit me out of nowhere. It was different. The view was different.
It was a whole different take on the genre, really. And it had an excellent story.
Even little baby basic stuff that just really probably wouldn't matter to everybody else, but this is the first RPG I played where you had a boomerang as a weapon, and the boomerang had a tangible effect. You could see it fly out and hit the enemy and come back. The story was cool. I mean, it was basically there was lots of fucking dragons involved, and I was all about that.
Some dragons, man.
Really cool characters, like when you found Bo, and you know, hey, it's a wolf. His name's Bo, and his weapon is a bow, an arrow. He was a badass. You know, I liked him. Really good RPG back in the day. Now, the reason why this one is on here instead of the second one, because arguably the second one, from what I hear, is better. This is a personal thing. This is where personal shit in your life takes place over actual subjective opinion for me, because I have played Breath of Fire 1. Now, again, I'm 35, so I haven't played this since probably, I think I played it once or twice in my 20s, but I mainly played this in high school. I played through Breath of Fire probably 6, 7, 8 times. I have only played through Breath of Fire 2 once. And it was just given the way that I was playing it, I kind of I guess you could say I kind of rushed through Breath of Fire 2. So
you just kind of slam dunked it.
Yeah. Breath of Fire 2 has a lot of good innovations to the game. I mean, it's got character combinations. It's got a little bit of the graphics are updated a little bit. The music's a little different, a little better. But I have just played Breath of Fire 1 so much. And we're strictly talking about Super Nintendo, so I can't pick my favorite, which is Breath of Fire 3. I pick 1 over 2. Great RPG, worth a play, on my list. Number 10 for you, buddy?
Number 10, Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
And, like I said, I don't really like platformers, but this one makes the list because it is unique and it has a whole lot of character. like you said, Psychro, but you fucking remember him, don't you?
Yep.
You can remember each one of these. You remember the cat, and you remember the little fucking hell level where they're in heck. Yeah. And, you see the cat in the background playing the fiddle.
I remember the level that was basically a fucking grill. There were bacon platforms and eggs dripping, the fucking yolk was dripping, and there was a fucking salt shaker would fly by and salt you and hurt you. And it was, again, I meant this as a strength, really. This was back when random shit, but they did random right.
Yeah.
And they made it themed. It fit with the game, and
he had little cool things like you'd go groovy.
Yeah.
Whenever you picked
well
him.
done. Well done. Remember you could play with the cows? Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Yeah.
So, I mean, it had a lot of personality. Mm-hmm. And it was a very unique platformer that had interesting mechanics. And, I said that, it had a bunch of one-off levels where, like, the bungee jumping and stuff like that. But, I mean, they were fun.
They were fun. Yeah.
They were really fun.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would pose the same question to you that somebody would probably pose to me about Breath of Fire. Why didn't you pick the Earthworm Jim 2 over 1? Because it had improvements.
It did, but it wasn't to me, the bigger thing was it wasn't so much, you really should play the first one before you play the second one. You should really play and because if you like the first game, you're guaranteed to see the improvements in the second game and appreciate them more.
Right.
So if you're gonna pick, and I picked the 10 titles that I think everyone should play on Super Nintendo, and that's a fucking hard thing to do.
Yeah, very.
You were leaving off a lot of fucking good games.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna play a game, and I tried not to pick, like, Super Castlevania didn't make this list.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I think it's too close to Metroid.
Yeah.
And Castlevania 4 was a fucking great game. Mm-hmm. Another platformer. Mm-hmm. And playing Super Nintendo games, you're gonna find platformers.
Yeah.
But the reason this one makes the list and other games didn't is because it combined different, you had like a melee attack, you had a ranged attack, you had a certain amount, you had ammo.
Yeah.
Ammo. Yeah, you had to pick up little ammo fucking things, or else you ran out of fucking juice for your little laser thing. Mm-hmm. He looked like a total badass when he was shooting it too. He was like, and you see the lighting effects bouncing off his face.
Remember the bubble gun? You can get a bubble gun, and you were like, "What does this do?" And it literally just shoots bubbles, and you're like, "Oh, fuck you."
Yeah. Anyway,
had a lot of quirky, gimmicky, cool stuff.
Yup, and that was the coolest thing about it, is it was just really, it was a fun experience.
Yes.
My number 9, Super Tecmo Bowl.
Okay.
And Super Tecmo Bowl was, like I said before, it's just a play off the original one, where you had Tecmo Super Bowl by Tecmo, for the NES. Well, this one there's just more.
Yeah.
It's just bigger, better,
It did
better.
what the Super Nintendo did for a lot of games.
It had these really cool, like, you'd get a sack and you'd see the guy, they'd show a little cutscene where the guy goes, raw sack.
Yeah.
And then you go and you throw the ball and the guy goes up to catch it, and it has like one of 2 cutscenes will play, one where he catches it, one where he drops it, and you play against your friends, and, you could customize the playbook, and pick what you wanted, it had hidden plays, like you could do a dive over the middle, to try to get that 1 yard to get the touchdown or whatever.
It also had the ability, before football games got really, really, they focused a lot on the mechanics, where if I'm at the 1 yard line, I could just backpedal all the way back to their end zone and throw that ball all the way back down the field, and you might catch it.
Yeah, he might.
It's not like, man, you can't fucking throw that far. It's not. Go ahead. Throw the whole football field length. Go ahead. Do it. Every fucking time.
Throwing accuracy and throwing power mattered.
If you don't care about getting a 68-yard sack, go ahead. Go as far back as you want to.
But it was, it's one of those things, it really is a sign of the times, really, you know, from back in the 90s. It was also one of the first games to have, you know, player names and stuff like that. You'd see Jerry Rice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was super cool.
Cool. Well, my number 8 on the list was Mega Man X. I mean, number 1, if I'm ever talking anywhere on this podcast about a Mega Man game, I don't have enough time. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And I've also, we as gamers, if you have any idea who Ego Raptor is, even though Adam wants to punch him in the face for some reason, if you have the time, please finish this podcast all the way through. Listen to the rest of it, please. And then go check out Sequelitis by Ego Raptor. And he will say everything that needs to be said about this game. The level design is designed on purpose. The intro level of the game is designed to help teach. It is actually somewhat expertly crafted to help teach the mechanics you need to know. It is a
Mega Man game to end all Mega Man game. It showed the evolution from I mean, you know, you had the classic NES Mega Man titles, and then you had what the Super Nintendo could fucking do.
Exactly. It had armor upgrades. Again, almost every Mega Man had something new. You know, like in Mega Man 3, I believe is when you first got the slide. Mega Man 4, you got the Mega Buster.
You had the Mega Buster in 3.
No, you couldn't. No, Mega Buster started in Mega Man 4.
Really?
Yes.
Man, I'm remembering that wrong.
It's okay, man. There's a lot.
Yeah,
so
there's so many, and they all blend together.
There's 10 official, and then there's 8 X's, and then there's 5, 6 battle networks.
Oh, man,
it goes on and on.
Dude.
But specifically talking about Mega Man X, yeah, you have armor upgrades, and really, Adam, because you look different as you get it. Fuck you. Wow, shit. You know
what? You throw this shit
at me. You want to talk about
you want to come at me from nowhere.
You want to call reaching for straws. When you put a new piece of armor on, your character doesn't
He looks
match.
fucking retarded with this shit on.
Fuck you.
He's like, look at my white boots and my not anything.
This is another game that has shit. The more things you get, the more awesome that you feel, the more awesome you become. Like when you get the Charge Buster, it shows you it right there. He takes the control out of your hand for a baby second. He charges up the Mega Buster and throws that fucking awesome, you know, dragon-like X-Buster trail with the fucking flash behind you. And you're like, that's cool. But if you have the time and you look around and you by chance pick up a weapon from a boss, you can charge the boss weapons up. And the boss weapons now have 2 different abilities. That's awesome.
Yep.
First time you get to have ride armor. You get into a mech suit and you can walk around with this shit and punch things.
Yep.
The bosses, yeah, some of them were but most of them were cool. They had different designs. You had many bosses in the levels. You had E-tanks were back.
Everything was bigger and better.
Yeah, E-tanks were back, but instead of being E-tanks, you had a tank that you could fill up, and you know
and that's why this is my number 4 pick.
Yeah,
and not my number 9 pick like you had.
Well,
because I thought this game was heads and tails, just showed off the difference between the NES and the SNES.
Right.
This game was like, it just pushed everything to 12. Fuck 11. We're skipping 11. We're going straight to 12. This is what the Super Nintendo does better than anything else.
Yep.
You know, and this is why you needed it.
Yep. This is what the Super Nintendo was really good, and what the big cherishing thing it did for people is that it took a lot of these mainstay games that you knew from Nintendo, and it cranked everything up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't gimmicky. It wasn't just doing it just to do it. It was like, no, we're giving you more and better.
Yep.
This is the first real good time where you got to see, I mean, aside from an NES to an Atari, I understand there is a huge gap there. But this is where we just took everything and gave you better colors. We gave you more colors. We gave you better sound, more options. It's just, you just fell in love because you're like,
there's so much more happening on the screen now.
I recognize all this stuff from Mario, but now I've got a cape. Now I've got, the enemies look different. They got more, it's just, ooh.
Hat pops up when I jump.
A generation jump felt real good when it came to Super Nintendo. So, Mega Man X, my number 9, awesome. Number 8 for me was Donkey Kong Country 2. I love the Donkey Kong Country series.
It was a very influential series.
Yes. Awesome platformer, a lot of good jump timing stuff.
Loaded to the gills with little extras and secrets.
Yes, secrets all over the place. Maybe I'd have to go back and do some research, but it was the first time where my percentage completion had my completion had a percentage rating, so I'm like, oh shit, I got a goal to go for. Mm-hmm. You know, when you beat Donkey Kong Country straight vanilla, you may see, oh, you got like 63% of the game done. You're like, whoa, there's shit out there I
missed a lot of shit.
Yeah, so you want to go back and find it. I picked Donkey Kong Country 2 over 1 because kind of the same reason. I played 2 over and over again. I love the additions. I love the controllability and the mobility range that you get with Dixie now. I love the animals they added to it. I want to say his name was Sneakers. God, I could be wrong, but he was always my favorite new buddy. I liked the fact that you had to find other coins to unlock a whole new area, and that new area kicked you in the fucking balls because it was hard, but it was challenging and it was worth it. Some of the best music in the entire Donkey Kong Country series. My God, everybody knows Bramble Patch. That's a mainstay. Awesome gameplay, and it not a generational gap, but from one game to the next, it gave you more with a sequel. It kept the good stuff there and just gave you more to have fun with and enjoy and play, and I fucking lapped it up. So, I didn't pick 3 at all because 3 was okay, but for me, 3 was give or take.
3 was just kind of more the same.
I did not like the enemy designs in 3. I didn't like the new art style that went forward. It totally threw me way off. And Donkey Kong Country 1 was my first, of course, and I'll always love it. But 2 for me made my list at number 8. What about your number 8, buddy?
My number 8 was Star Fox.
Oh, yeah.
And Star Fox was the beginning of a new IP. It was also showed up what the FX chip could actually do. It was for a lot of things. It had, a whole lot of people hadn't seen polygons before.
I'm just translating for you for the Star Fox audience.
Oh, fuck you. But, so, I mean, it was, you'd seen similar games on the Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Like Top Gun, stuff like that. This was nowhere even in the same realm.
Oh, yeah.
This was just a brand new thing. And you went from flying around on the ground to flying around in space and flying through things. And, oh man, you could do like barrel rolls, you know, stuff like that.
Could you do barrel rolls?
You could do aileron rolls.
Or aileron rolls in Star Fox?
Yes.
I thought that was a 64
Just
thing.
tap R twice.
Okay. Like, I know how to do it, but it's been a while with the original Star Fox. I played Star Fox 64 6,000 times.
Yeah, if you held the trigger, the thing would flip over to one side or the other.
On the side, but I don't know if you tapped it if you kept rolling.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just been too long for me. Way too long. Great fucking game.
You could break off the wings.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing I'd do.
just to get that headache out of the way. Because like, you know, one of them's going to break, might as well break both of them. And just,
you got to be even. But I mean, you know, it was really, really, really cool. That was the thing about it. It was groundbreaking, and you had all kinds of new stuff that you hadn't seen before. Yep. So you're flying in between things, fucking columns are falling down, you're swooping underneath them.
Big giant enemies are walking by.
You actually had, you know, friends and stuff that were trying to help you, and you didn't realize they weren't going to be any fucking use whatsoever. You could shoot them down because you're an asshole.
But see, and you brought that up as an argument against, but that was a great initiative for risk and reward. Yeah. Like, you can't just, hey man, friendly fire's off. So you can't just shoot willy-nilly. You got, your friends are in front of you.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, I think it belongs on the top 10 list. I think it's one of those games that you need to play.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play Super Nintendo games, this is a good representation of what it was like to be a gamer back then.
Cool.
And my number
7
is Mario Kart. And before kart racing became a huge thing and everybody and their mother had one, this was the fucking original OG. Mm-hmm. It was like, let's just do some weird shit. Yep. And Nintendo was like, yep, okay, weird shit, I'm down for that.
I made that as an argument. I made this as an argument in my gripe against it, but I was a victim of that coin stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was, maybe I just didn't, the first time I played this game, I don't think I took in everything. I got the idea of racing around. I got the idea of using weapons against people, etc. And the speed difference I did too. But I did not pick up the fact that the coins affected my speed. Yeah. I found that out on my own on like my 4th or 5th playthrough, and that just like unlocked the game for me. Whole new gaming experience when you realize that the coins you pick up are not just for points, they're for your speed. Yeah. Awesome. Wish they'd bring that back.
He also had a battle mode.
Yep. Yeah. First Mario Kart, first battle mode.
You didn't have to, you weren't just racing. You could go into like a demolition derby and fucking just smack the shit out of everybody else if you wanted to. So that was cool. It was unique, and it used, for the most part, Mario characters, except for Donkey Kong, who's there for no fucking reason.
We forgive him, it's okay.
But, it had, and I don't think it was Donkey Kong. Was it Donkey Kong Jr.?
It might have been, I don't know. I remember the two heavies were Bowser and Donkey Kong.
Okay. So anyway, you go around and do all this cool stuff, and the worlds were unique.
Donkey Kong Jr., wasn't it? He had a shirt on.
I think it was.
Oh shit! Hopefully we're right. I'm not going to put money on it, but I think we're right. Anyway,
but you had like the chocolate mud hills, and you had like I can't remember what fucking beach you went on.
Yeah, I remember the beach one. That was a fun one.
You had of course you had the Green Plains little fucking place and all that. So it was really cool. You had like a little power slide you did to drift. Yeah. So super fun game. And if you're gonna play Super Nintendo games, that's one of the games you should play.
I agree. My number 7 was Mega Man X2. Further up the list of Mega Man X, because this is just an internal fight I had with myself a long time ago. I have played X considerably more than X2. I will give you that. But the improvements, the little things that they added into the level designs, the way the different reactions for the bosses when they take specific weapon damage, which was the thing in X2, but just I'm saying marginal. I'm saying like if Mega Man X2 is 100, Mega Man X is a 99. I mean, I'm not knocking it completely out of the water. I just have just a teeny tiny bit more, oh man, that's cool shit in X2 than I do in X1. Because again, it's a sequel. It's designed to be a sequel. It gives you a little bit more.
A little bit more than X did, but to me, it wasn't enough to make it. When I look at a game, from my perspective, I look at it I try to think, okay, well, if this was a sequel, was it so much better than its predecessor that it's just completely outshined its predecessor?
Yeah.
Or was it just an incremental increase? And to me, X2 is an incremental increase. So that's why it didn't make my list.
Yeah.
But I can see why you would like it.
Yeah. It was literally the point when when I played, I did a Mega Man marathon in its 25th anniversary, and I went back. The idea for me was I played a Mega Man game for 28 days. Baby, how many days are in December? 30? Is it 30?
31.
31? Well, I played Mega Man all 31 days. And, when I got done, I finally sat down and I played X and X2. Cause I can pretty much beat them fairly easily.
Yeah.
And alright, which am I having more fun with? And it's hard to explain this, it's just a personal thing, but I just have just a teeny, tiny little bit more fun with X2. You got many bosses added in there, the whole, Violin and Surge, and I forget the other one. They are fucking hard if you don't know how to beat them, and they add a little bit more challenge. You get a Shoryuken, that's pretty cool. But I mean, hey, you get a Hadouken X1, so you get one, you get one. It's really hard to quantify in something that you can put down on a Metascore critic. It's just a personal thing. I just have just a teeny tiny bit more fun with X2, but by God, it's a fucking X game, and I love it.
Yeah.
So that's my number 7. My number 6, Super Metroid. Oh yeah, Super shit. Metroid. So,
another one that made my list.
Yeah. I played Metroid back in the day, but I was shit at it. I sucked at it. I've got 3 or 4 zones in a Metroid and couldn't get further, and then I picked it up again and got some ways in and couldn't beat it. when I got Super Metroid, it was just as hard, but I went all the way through that because I fell fucking hard in love with that game.
Yep.
The graphics are great. Little touches all over that game. All over the game.
Yep.
Level design, top notch. It is the premier starter game for somebody that likes the Metroidvania style of gaming where you gotta...
There's a reason they call it Metroidvania.
Yes. You have to, you can go into an area and you will see a fucking item up on a cliff and you're like, well, I can't jump that high. Well, buddy, somewhere in this world there might be something to let you get up there.
One of these days you're gonna
do it. And they may be guarded by a boss, it may be guarded by a door you just got a missile for.
And that's the thing is that you get a missile, you get a new fucking missile or a new jump or something like that, and instantly your mind goes back to, goddamn, how many times have I seen a situation where this would have worked?
Exactly.
And you're like, okay, well, I remember there's one in this room, and there's one in that. I might have to go to each one of these individually and backtrack.
This game
you missed one.
This game is a beautiful orchestration of a puzzle game expanded. It's exactly what these games are good for. Same thing the Super Nintendo's been doing on all these sequels that we've been talking about. It gives you more of Metroid.
Bigger, better, badder.
Yes.
Flashier.
You get more suits, you get more weapons. There is a there is a good story with this game.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Metroid Prime incoming. So the whole reason why you're on Zebus to begin with is you're tracking down this Metroid. You get there and the fucking Metroid flies off, and it's the Metroid you captured from Metroid 2, Return of Samus, if I remember right.
I think so.
I believe so. And at the end of the game, you find Mother Brain, and apparently the little Metroid has been attached to you the whole time, so it's in love with you and thinks you its mama. So when you go fight Mother Brain stomps your shit in, and right when it's about to make the kill, the fucking Metroid comes in and sucks the fucking Mother Brain power, and then gives you the power, and you're powering up, and then Mother Brain wakes up and kills the Metroid. And you're thinking, I'm playing Metroid. I'm playing a game where I go pew 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 and I open doors and I kill bosses and I find double jumps and I spin dash and all this shit, and I'm actually getting emotional because they just killed my baby.
Yep.
Wow. It gives you a story and it's really fucking good. Expansive levels, different terrains, you get in a water area, you get into a lava area, you get into the outside in the rain. Oh man, good game all around. That was definitely well earned my number 6 on this list.
Okay, here comes my number 6 right here. Pilot Wings.
I have to admit,
so much fun.
You're going to be the only one talking about this because I have never played a single, not one. I never played Pilot Wings 64.
The whole idea is that you're trying to get your Pilot Wings.
I know what it is. I know what the game is. I have never played it.
Oh man, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. It was
sell this game to everybody.
It was all about getting your pilot's license and being a pilot and learning how to land gliders and biplanes and skydiving and flying a jetpack, all kinds of really cool little things that, you never even thought about doing. It was a unique concept for a game. Mm-hmm. It's really one of the Nintendo games that I think is undervalued.
Yeah.
They really need to bring this series back. They need to do some.
I think Pilot Wings 64 was a launch title for the 64, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One of the 3 or 5 that came launched with?
I remember right when it came out, we were playing this game.
Yep.
And I haven't seen another one since.
Yep.
GameCube.
They've got Pilot Wings Resort for the Wii.
Fucking Switch is out now, and we still ain't got new Pilot Wings. Come on.
I think there's a Pilot Wings Resort for the Wii U.
Is there?
I believe so. It's either the Wii or the Wii U. Somebody will figure that out, or we'll Google it ourselves.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if it's part of Nintendo Land. You remember the Nintendo Land game? There's a bunch of little Nintendo-themed mini games. It might be part of that.
They had to bring that dude back for fucking Brawl.
Sure.
But, anyway, you go through and you did little things like you'd fly through rings, or you'd, try to land the plane perfectly, etc. And, of course, you'd screw up and crash and giant burning, horrible death. But it was really cool. You'd parachute around trying to go through rings as you're going down towards the ground, try to land on the target perfectly. And, you could just say fuck it and not open your parachute and slam through the ground. It was I mean, a lot of games have implemented parachuting and flying planes and stuff like that now. Now it's a lot more common, so I'm not sure how well it would translate. But then, at the point in time where this game came out, it wasn't super common on the consoles to just have, non-combative, have fun flying around and having that freedom.
Yeah. A game outside of Mario that was the wee-hee,
Yeah. And it was just, I don't know, it's a special place in my heart for this game.
That's all that matters sometimes.
And it's just, there are probably, I can't think of a better example of a game where it was just like, okay, well, go out and have fun.
Yeah. Especially back then.
Yeah.
So what about number 5?
Number 5 was, just as you said, your number 6, Super Metroid.
Oh yeah, so we've already hashed on it. Yep, great game. Moving on. I guess you can pick number 4 then if you want.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I gotta do.
No, you want to do that?
Gotta do my number 5.
You want to see my number 4?
Yeah, my number 5 is Super Mario RPG.
Oh God,
this was a sleeper hit for me. I don't want to say sleep. This stealthed me because I knew I wanted to. If I could picture myself back when this game was out, and I would see Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 3, Super Mario World, Super Mario World Yoshi's Island, Super Mario RPG. If I saw all these up there and I didn't know shit about what I was looking at, I would probably pick 3 in Mario World. Mario World Mario RPG may be 4 or 5 in the list. I picked this up and was like, it's an RPG. I guess it could be cool. I mean, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I was like, it's a Mario game. I'll play it. I'll try it out. And oh my God. Squaresoft and Nintendo got together and said, let's make a fucking RPG. We'll make it themed around Mario. We'll have a lot of Mario characters. We'll offer a couple new ones. Great fucking game.
I honestly believe they didn't give this game a sequel because Squaresoft cannot make a dress out of belts and put Mario in it.
Could be. Could you imagine like a Kingdom Hearts version of, oh God. Never mind. Please don't think of this.
Don't vomit.
Stop thinking of this.
Don't vomit. Try not to vomit.
Stop. Man. Great things to say about this game. The graphics were new. It was a new way to look at Mario, so that was awesome. Music, every single area had its own theme. All the music fit thematically.
Yep.
The battle system was great. The way that you leveled up was new in an RPG style. You didn't just upgrade levels. You get to pick one. Hey, do you want more health? Do you want more magic?
How do you want to play this?
What character do you want to build up? The little animations for all the attacks, the special, the magic that you had, they all had little special, and bingo, the battle system where if you press a button at a certain time, you can do something.
Do extra damage.
It may do more damage. And if you're on the defensive side, if you press a button at the right time, you may take less damage. Oh, I love that trigger happy stuff. Awesome stuff.
It's mechanics that got used in later games, Squaresoft games, and other RPGs in general came from that.
Great story too. I mean,
it deserves a spot in the top 10 list.
Yeah, and
it is a good RPG.
Yeah. And it was a great thing that, he said it as a negative. It really, really wasn't. The fact that Squaresoft said, hey, just as a tribute to us, just so people know they're still playing a Final Fantasy game, we're going to throw in a little Easter egg for them. We'll throw in a boss that has nothing to do with this game's storyline. We'll put some classic Final Fantasy music with it all the way around. We'll make it really hard and it'll be a challenge. And I was like, man, thank you. Thank you for tailoring to the audience was coming.
Well, we'll throw some Squaresoft stuff in there, and you know what? Fucking Peach's dress will be made completely out of belts, and Mario will wear like he'll have his chest exposed with like one nipple showing.
You had Chrono Trigger style battle set up. You did actually change the screen, but still you saw enemies live out in the world. You bumped into them. You fought them. Just great RPG. Well worth your time. If you're an RPG fan at all, I'll say this. If you're an RPG fan, but you don't like Mario at all, cool. Play this game anyway. Because it's an RPG.
If you're an RPG fan, you'll like it. If you're a Mario fan, you'll like it. So, you know, if you like Mario and RPGs, then what the fuck haven't you played this game for?
Exactly. So moving on to my number 4 Super Nintendo game of all time, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Man.
Oh, I disagree.
Platforming. There is a lot to be said about this game. We're just not going to spend all day on it, because Adam don't like platformers. I love the art style of this game. I love the mechanics of shooting eggs. I like the way they implemented that into the game. I love the levels, the variation of levels, the little touches, like, for instance, when you beat the first world, when you're playing in the first world on the world map, you have a specific tune. When you beat that world, you get another instrument added. And it adds some drums into it. When you beat that next one, it may add a little violin or something. And when you have all 6 worlds beaten and you're on the last world, you have the full entire music theme. Little touches like that were great. The first time you get to see gigantic Bowser, I mean, that was fucking cool. The epic spoilers for Mario Yoshi's Island. Bowser turns fucking, no, it was baby Bowser, sorry.
Yeah.
Turns fucking, size of a skyscraper with this epic battle music, and you gotta shoot shells all the way downrange at them. Extra levels you can unlock, little mini games that were cool, lots of chances to get 1-ups, extra lives. Level design was good. The music in the game was good. It was very catchy. All around, this game had just about as much content as Mario World 1 did, and it was just a little bit better for me. So, on my list, loved it, had a good time.
Disagree.
That's fine.
But it's okay.
That's fine. Number 4 for you, sir.
Mega Man X.
Well, we've already talked on that, so cool. How about your number 3?
Final Fantasy 6.
Whoa, man, wait, you get to talk about 6 first? No, of course not. We're going to talk about it together.
So, Final Fantasy 6, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Final Fantasy RPG.
Yes.
End of podcast.
End of podcast. Do my own fade out. No, seriously. This is a rare time in life where somebody will tell you this is a GOAT, and you're like, oh, I think people just talking hyperboles. No. Final Fantasy VI is not only arguably the best Final Fantasy in the entirety of the Final Fantasy franchise.
It is a contender for best RPG of all time.
Period. End of statement.
Yes.
Systems wide, all around the horn. If you are any type of RPG fan and you play this and you don't like it, you may not be an RPG fan. I'm sorry to tell you. This is a tester for you.
This is the fucking litmus test right here.
This game has it all. It's got the graphics. It's got the
varied fucking battle system. It's got a 14 characters. Mm-hmm. And like I said, although there are some drawbacks to that, there are some pluses too. You have a wide variety. You'll find some ones you like.
Yeah.
You'll stick them all on one team, and you'll have to fucking start your save over again because you put them all on one team, and that's your A team, and then your F team gets its fucking shit waxed.
Yeah, don't fuck yourself. Do the right thing.
Don't fuck yourself.
Just level everybody. I mean, and we make a joke about, like, you know, Umaru maybe being a throwaway character, but if you play the game and you understand, you level Umaru up, that man is a fucking beast. He can lay some power.
Well, it's not only that, but they fight in completely different ways.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you know, and not only that, but there are characters that might live or might die depending on your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, the storytelling.
So good.
Oh man, it was so good. It's one of the best fucking games you ever played.
Yep.
And here's the thing. If you get a Super Nintendo or Super Nintendo emulator and you don't play this game, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's on my top 10 for a fucking reason. It's on his top 10 for a fucking reason.
It's on my
top 15. It should be on anyone's top 10. Not just, I mean, it is when he says full stop, one of the best RPGs of all time, he's not fucking kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a reason that Final Fantasy VII got made.
Yes.
And it's because this game was fucking awesome.
Yes. They knew they had something when they made this game, and it's so good. Every single character, even the ones that have maybe one little side shit, everybody, there are so many characters that are fleshed out to a degree that
I mean, you can play through this game multiple times and see different things.
You got a character that can use tools. You got a character that can use damn near Street Fighter moves. You got a character to use a sword and he can power it up 8 different fucking levels. You got a guy that can copy every single person in the game. You got a girl that can copy every enemy in the game.
Yep.
You got a boy that can copy every enemy's ability in the game. And so on and so on and so on. Every character is unique. And it fits. It all fits.
And the
story is so good. Spoilers.
Wrap around.
Spoilers for Final Fantasy VI, aka Final Fantasy III for the Super Nintendo. The fact that you have an antagonist in this game that you don't really have a good gauge for him before he breaks the world. He's kind of aloof.
He's a dick.
He's a dick. He's kind of yeah. I mean, his big claim to fame is when he kicks the fucking poison in. You're like, whoa, he just poisoned a whole fucking castle of people. That's pretty mean. But
you know?
Okay, here's the thing. The fact that he does these very mean and very heinous things, but his theme music is like burr, 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 da, da, da. It's not like boom, da, 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 da. You know, when you know when Sephiroth rolls up, it's boom.
Wow, this guy's gonna fuck some shit up.
Boom. And Kefka's like, burp, burp, burp. So you're thinking, this guy's goofy. This guy, he's probably going to be a throwaway. I bet you General Leo's going to, turn heel and be like, I was the bad guy the whole time. Or maybe Emperor Gestalt's like, no, I'm just going to take the fucking power I have. No, Kefka just gets in and says, I'm breaking this fucking planet in two. And you're like, no, you're not. And he goes, psh, psh. Not only doing that, I'm a fucking god now. I'm sitting atop a tower and I'm putting out judgment lasers across the world. Fight me, bro. That is big.
What a dick.
That is epic. That's shit that
One of the greatest villains of all time.
Yep. So, can't say enough about the game. But again, we literally be here for hours gushing over this game.
We would sit here and we could dedicate an episode to this.
All right, so that was your 3, right?
That was my number 3.
All right, my number 3 is Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
My very first Super Nintendo game.
My personally owned my very first Super Nintendo game as well.
Yep.
What guys? You got fucking Zelda here in one of its premier, pristine forms.
It might be one of its greatest forms.
It is. It is.
When you look at Zelda, the first 2 that you're going to come across are going to be, Link to the Past, and you're going to look at Ocarina of Time.
Yep.
Okay, and you may, the jury's still out, but right now the jury's looking pretty tilted in this favor, but it may also be Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But there's a reason Link to the Past is on this.
Yes. Same shit that we've talked about for Final Fantasy VI. You could damn near say the same shit about Chrono Trigger, with the exception it's just one character. Great music, great graphics, great story. The multiple items that you get over the course of time.
So many secrets to find.
So many secrets. Little heart pieces and
this is Zelda personified. You take the first game, it's bigger, it's better, it's badder. There's more narrative. There's more things happening.
You got 2 separate worlds. You got a light world and a dark world, which not only offers story and narrative differences, but gameplay differences.
Doubles the amount of gameplay space, and you have to go back and forth between the 2 to accomplish a lot of different objectives.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll find yourself just bailing out of the dark world like, oh shit, and you go into the light world, and now you're in a completely different situation.
Yeah. It also sets up, I think, for the first time in the Zelda series, where if you didn't know the span of this game, if you didn't know the length of it, and you were tasked with finding the first 3 pendants to get the Master Sword, you're like, man, all I gotta do is get that fucking Master Sword. Shit, yeah. And you beat that 3rd boss, and then you go get the Master Sword, and you're like, man, this game's kinda short. And then, boom, the fucking ball drops on you, and you got 8 more fucking dungeons to go through. And I think the last one, so I think 9 more. That's a lot of fucking content.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like as soon as you get spoilers. You go through the first part of the game, okay, and you rescue Zelda, and you get, you drop her off with the sage, and you go out and you're questing to get the Master Sword. You go get the Master Sword, and the moment you get it, the sage is like, oh shit, help. And so you go run over there, and the sage is like, I couldn't stop them. They grabbed the princess, and you just walk up into the castle, balls out.
Yep.
Every obstacle that was stopping you before, the Master Sword cuts the fuck through.
Yep.
And you're like, nah, not today, buddy.
It was a game that gave you empowerment. And just pulling the fucking sword up alone had its own little deal.
Yeah.
So you knew you had
lifted
something.
the mist from the Lost Woods, and the fucking squirrels and the rabbits and bunnies all came out, and they're all hippity hopping across your fucking path.
Anytime bunnies are in play, you know you're in a good place.
So you're fucking, you're doing your thing, and that fucking evil wizard is up there doing his wooga wooga magic to fucking break the fucking seal. And you're just like, let me just swack this right the fuck back at you, you asshole.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, well, I guess I screwed up.
We'll say it like this. Blood has probably been drawn somewhere over a debate between Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past. What you need to know is if you're looking for a place to start, you're at home either, but you're definitely home right here. This is a damn good place to start.
Oh, yeah.
Zelda 1 would be kind of rough on you. Zelda 2 is not going to give you the Zelda that you're going to get for the next probably 6 games. Start with Link to the Past. Get it right there. It'll give you all you need. It's going to be so fucking pure and good.
It's just going to be that raw Zelda experience.
So that was my number 3. Yeah, what's your number 3?
My number 3?
Yeah.
My number 3 was Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, that's right. So I got to pick my number 2. Oh, cool. My number 2.
I think this is going to be the end of the discussion, right?
I guess, because how do I get... I should have got 6 and you should have got Chrono Trigger, but it don't matter. We're both talking about him anyway. My number 2 of all time was Chrono Trigger.
It feels better to have me gush about 6 and you gush about Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
everybody knows that I love Chrono Trigger.
Man, we feel like this is the same games we talk about a long time, but God, they deserve them. These games are masterpieces right here. Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger can combat with equal footing over which are better, but you can't lose on getting either one. This one is great because you have, again, great graphics, a new art style for you. It's got great music. Same thing back I said earlier. Every theme fits. It all fits, and
there is not a
good.
single category where this game is lacking.
Exactly.
It's got the story is kick-ass, enthralling, multiple endings.
Mm-hmm.
You've got awesome art.
Mm-hmm.
You've got awesome sounds, awesome music, awesome gameplay, awesome battle system.
Yep.
No part of this game is lacking.
Nope. And everything that you go through in this game, I can't think of, I mean, I say that as a light-hearted saltiness toward Dalton, but every section of stuff you go through this game is rounded well.
Yeah.
I mean, you start the game with the Millennial Affair, boom, you get kicked back in time. I mean, the set piece
well,
where
not only that, but it's spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Later on in the game, everything you did at the Millennial Fair is scrutinized.
Yep.
And you're like, what?
Yep.
You didn't realize.
There's a part where you gotta break out of jail, then you got a boss fight. There's a part where you go hunt down fucking Magus and you show up at his shit and the fucking candles start lighting up one by one as you make your way there, and there's a fucking boss fight.
So much mood.
Yes.
I mean, you feel really bad for the Reptites.
Mm-hmm.
When he walks out and he says, why do you get to live?
Yep.
Why do we have to die and you get to live?
Yep. Going back and forth through different areas of time and not only seeing the effects, but just being in those eras, seeing what the world is like in that time and having distinct, clear differences.
You can go back in time and save, Luca's mother from being crippled as a child.
Yep. You can, Hello, New Game Plus, which we talked about. You go through the game, beat the game, come back again, play the story again, but now keep all the shit you worked
Be
for.
ready to throw down with Lavos when he shows up and whoop his ass right there and then.
You can find points in the game where you're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go fight Lavos right now. Sure, go for it. Just can't say enough. Another masterpiece of an RPG.
Yep.
That's my number 2. What about you?
My number 2 was Link to the Past. My number 1 was Chrono Trigger.
Yep, and my number 1 was Final Fantasy VI.
So we are tapped out.
Bam. That is our top 10 list. I guarantee, again, just giving the number.
Any one of these 20 entries can be looked at, scrutinized. I guarantee you're going to have a good amount of fun with any of these games.
Yeah, Super Nintendo for me it's still to this day my top gaming system. And you got 10 games from him and 10 games from me. Overlap, yes or no? But you got a shit ton of games right here that you are gonna walk away. You're gonna have a good time.
Oh yeah,
damn good time.
These are worth your time.
Yeah. That's gonna do it for this episode of End of Time. I hope it was a fun experience. Sorry I threw a little fucking dust in your eyes with the list and all, but hey man, it was rough for both of us. It was a fun time, something new, something nobody was expecting, hopefully. Thanks again to everybody that's listened to this all the way through. This might be another long one, but hey, again, we're just giving
it's a labor of love, man.
Yeah,
a labor of love.
Super Nintendo games. We can't help it. We gotta gush. We gotta talk about them. You can send us emails if you want to at endoftimecast@gmail.com. That's endoftimecast@gmail.com. Our inbox is fairly empty. We're not going to cry about that just yet.
We're going to cry.
We're a little
cry
bit.
because you fucking want to talk to us.
Send us questions. Hey, here's one for you. Why don't you send us your top 10? Tell us what games you're interested in. Maybe we'll read them off and list them for you. If you have gripes about the picks we picked, hey, let us know what you didn't like about them. Why you think our games don't deserve the list. Or, since you got both sides of the coin, if you think that we griped about something that the game had and you think it was a bullshit gripe, let us know. Trust me, again, that list was hard to shit on.
It was.
And guaranteed, a lot of things that we said, if we were talking to you in casual conversation, we wouldn't give 2 shits or a fuck about what we said.
It was like, oh god, no.
What
am I gonna do? Say bad about Final Fantasy VI? Be too many characters.
So send us your feedback on this episode on our top 10, both likes and dislikes. What do you think? What do you dislike, etc. You can also comment or leave a message on our Facebook page and our Twitter, which this episode and all subsequent episodes are shared to. Let us know what you think. We're always looking to hear feedback. We would love to be able to read your questions or comments on the episode. That's pretty much it.
All right.
I guess we will see y'all next time on the End of Time. We'll see y'all next time. I'm Michael.
And I'm Adam.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Later. Good night.